Welcome back, everyone. We're ready to get going with a little more D&D Goes West, kind of a Wild West meets high fantasy sort of campaign, or some kind of fantasy anyway. But yeah. So, where did we leave off last time?
Last time you had early on, you had gone up to go sightseeing and actually looked out over the bluff nearby town. I actually remember the word this time. The bluff that's near town. You went out and looked over and you saw a camp in the distance and you thought that was kind of weird. You'd also gone down to visit a place that was just ambiguously called the compound that was sort of positioned under the bluff.
That doesn't sound ominous at all.
And found out it was home to a group of like 40 to 50 dark elves and one human for whatever reason. And yeah, no one asked, so one human. And you met them, and when you returned to town, told different people about the camp and went to investigate it and found it was a group of clerics and paladins to a god called the is it Lawmaster? The Lawmaster, yes. The Lawmaster, and they said that they were needed here and they don't need to enter. They weren't going to enter the town and they didn't mean the town ill. They just needed to be at this place just in case, or because someone had a feeling.
They're just standing around ominously in heavy armor.
Yeah, and
I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
And the Dark Elves had a similar feeling about just.
They had a feeling about something, about being there, being at that place for a reason, and they didn't give any details, but the matriarch of the group had said, like something was gonna happen, but she didn't know when, and had tried to ease Curtis's, excuse me, the talker, tried to ease the spirits by saying, but it may be 100 years in the future, and that didn't help him at all, because he'll be alive then. So yeah, you'd all returned back to town by that point, and you had been called previous day to meet that night with the mayor to discuss meeting with a group of nomads that come near town, not into town for whatever reason, but come near town to get news on what's going on in the area, see if there's anything you need to watch out for, and things like that.
Okay. Get it?
Yeah. So you all returned. I think you took your horses back. So you all returned horses, so. And I think you took your horses back because you were. People were kind of looking at you weird for just riding your horses through town.
Yeah. If we didn't take them back, that would be the first thing that we'd do.
Yeah. I think you two had gone ahead, and he went on a detour, but would catch up with you. You gonna do anything before you head over there, or not in particular?
No, I think I'm gonna head straight to the mayor's house. I'm hungry.
All right.
As evidence.
Yeah. Do you have anything? Either you have anything you're gonna do?
I'd probably do a quick cleanup at where we return the horses to the stable, but other than that, go on my way.
All right.
I'm gonna head back to town after giving John a silver piece.
Yeah.
It's important to tell.
You've given him 2 now. He has 2 silver pieces now.
And I recall the sheriff saying something about needing help. So before going to the mayor's house, I'm gonna make sure it wasn't anything urgent.
No, I don't think it was anything.
I'm going to the mayor's house.
remember what that was about, so it wasn't really
Okay.
important.
I'm wondering if eventually, when Curtis, gives John a silver piece, later he's just gonna feel it just plink against the back of his head.
Come back, or just come back and like they have some weird like fancy thing like that they bought with Curtis's money.
I feel like if I had been giving him a copper, that would have happened.
Yeah. Silver, I'll take a silver. Copper is just insulting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you all make your way to the house. So we show the guards the letters so they know to let you in. The house is I don't remember if I've described it before, but
I don't think we've been there.
it's I think someone had like wanted to go there and then didn't, which is why
Yeah.
something like that. But it's sort of the entire town has that large gate around it. The area, it's the only house inside of that gate area that is separated off by its own like sort of internal like small gate. And it's a large house. There's two smaller like small guest house that like one room and like maybe a bathroom and an outside in the front. And when you approach the gates, there's the guard that is normally in the office is out there, and he sees you, and he takes the letter and lets you all come inside. Leads you all inside.
We show him the letter and he does
Yeah,
what
he
now?
he leads you inside.
Okay.
And there's a couple of other guard people there. But they're not trying to stop you or anything. They just kind of around the two small like guest house areas outside. So you're led into the house, into the main front hall, which is it's really big. There's a couple doors to the side, and then there's a staircase that goes up to rooms around the balcony area. And on the wall, the staircase is two parts, and on the wall between the two staircases, right, so you can see it right when you come in, is a painting of a woman with these long. She has the same sort of dreads that one of the younger of the sons has. She is posed in sort of a victory pose. She has a sword, and she's not wearing armor. It's just sort of like a gown, but that's probably not what she actually fought in. It's whoever this woman is probably didn't actually fight in a dress, and there was people behind her.
Oh, this is fantasy, of course you do.
Yeah. Well, there's people behind her, like with families and stuff, looking up to her, and the way she's painted looks sort of holy. It's not like a depiction of it's not the typical depiction of a god, but it's fairly sort of.
It's along that.
Yeah, it's along
thing.
that sort of lines,
Okay.
and it's clearly there, so you see it right when you walk in. Otherwise, the place is this generally very nice, very clean. You don't immediately see anybody. And as you look around, there's a few seating areas, and there's what appears to be a large taxidermy lion just positioned, sitting on the floor, like sort of to the side near one of the doors off to the right.
Wow. Wow, this is the nicest home I've ever been in. This is crazy.
And the guard, tells you to wait here and goes up the stairs to go get someone.
And I stand there awkwardly, looking very uncomfortable and afraid that I'm going to break something expensive. Okay.
Curtis would like to go and pet the taxidermied lion.
So,
Do I notice anything weird about it? I'm getting close to it.
whenever you start to reach out to pet it, it turns its head to look at you. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good kitty. And I slowly step back.
That's not taxidermy. Okay.
Good.
Can I roll Arcana check, see if I know anything about that?
Yeah.
Let's get this one out of the way.
No,
3
no.
on the die.
3 on the die? No, yeah. Well,
Does a 7 tell me anything?
a what?
A 7.
Probably not.
Sorry,
I'm trying to
that's-
find my
Hold on.
document on
Is that one of those
this.
things I'm... Sorry, that's a 6. Plus 6, so 9. Because I've had that's one of those things I've actually used.
That's. I mean, it's probably magic. You doubt that they have an actual lion in their house.
Oh.
It's not probably an actual lion just chilling in their house. It's really hot. It's got a lot of fur. Where's the thing?
Looking around, do I see any evidence of the fur being shed anywhere on the floor?
No, not really. No.
Okay, well there we have it.
There's no litter box.
No.
Good kitty.
It doesn't actually move. It just kind of looks at Curtis, and then it sort of like lays down and puts his head on his paws.
Aww. I would think it's cute if I wasn't terrified of it.
After a moment, the guard comes back downstairs, and he goes back. He passes you and goes back outside to do whatever he had been doing before, and I think which one was it? Okay, yeah. Leo comes down the stairs and he usually dresses really nice, but he's dressed a little bit nicer today.
Wait, Leo, the one that Curtis
Yeah.
keeps
Yeah.
terrorizing? Okay.
Yeah. He comes out and he
Is he wearing a bow tie?
no. He's not wearing his jacket, but he's got like a really nice shirt and a nice patterned vest. The ascot like he usually wears. He has like I don't remember what it's like the actual name for it, but because he has those long braids, he has like a few that have like the clips around him, and one has like wire wrapped around it, like it's new, like he just had it redone or whatever. And
Are you talking about dreadlocks?
no, he has micro braids. Is that the word? I can't think of the word for that, but they're braids. They're like really skinny braids. That's usually like extensions braided in, and his are really long. And he's got like little like the little clips in it. There's an actual name for it, but I can't remember what it is. And one of them has the wire like crossed around it, and he comes down the stairs and looks at all of you, and then kind of squints at Curtis and glances around and makes sure everything is in the right place and everything, and says, "Well, I heard you were all coming to visit."
Yeah, nice cat you've got there.
Yeah. He sort of like waves a hand, and it gets up and starts to move closer to him.
Okay, now we know for sure it's magic because cats don't listen to
Yeah.
anything.
True.
Yeah.
And I visibly kind of.
It's not. He's not gonna attack you. He's
It's a lion.
not. That's not what he was. That's not what he was made for. You were invited in, so
What is he made for?
guarding.
Okay.
But you were invited in, so he's not. Unless you do something like pick things up or
Who would do
Out of-
such a thing?
something.
Out of character, I'm thinking of some of the antics that got pulled in the other campaign.
Yeah.
You know, walking and just pushing the door right off the hinge. You know, then you
Well,
get
I mean,
mauled.
even in this campaign, didn't Coda jump out the window?
Yeah.
This is true.
Out his dad's window. Yes.
I'm just thinking specifically with the mayor, though.
Yeah. You just.
Okay.
Um.
Don't pick anything up. Got it.
Don't. Without the intent of putting it back. Of course, you can eat or whatever. We should be ready for dinner soon. I can show you around if you'd like, or just to the
Great. That would be excellent.
So he starts to show you around the house and shows you into a few of the rooms. There's a study downstairs that appears to be used fairly frequently. There's paper sitting out. It looks like someone has been working in here. There's a library next door to it. And it's not like a huge like Beauty and the Beast library. It's fairly small because it's probably just the important books that they brought with them, not every single one that they own. He shows you upstairs a little bit. He doesn't show you into all the rooms because you assume they're like bedrooms or whatever, private places. Yeah. As you're upstairs, the other son like leaves a room. He's dressed more casually. Now he's not super dressed up for dinner. He's just dressed in whatever he's probably wearing that day. But he doesn't have like the vest or anything that he normally has on. It's just his normal shirt and then pants. And he has a shirt open a little bit, and you can see he's wearing some sort of necklace you haven't seen before. He just kind of nods to you and passes you and goes downstairs.
As he's passing, may I ask his name?
He stops and like realizes he's never given his name. Like you can see, like, oh yeah, like sorry, I'm Ellie, and he keeps going.
Have we met him before?
He's been at the mayor's office a few times, but I think Curtis was the only one who has.
Okay.
He's the half elf who actually has the dreads, like on like basically.
What's the half elf part?
You can't tell. He looks a lot like the other two, so.
So he's more human than.
He looks like he might be. I mean, at least his father is fully human, so. But he looks like he could be more. He looks like more like his human parent than his elf parent, at the very least, if he has a full elf parent. So yeah, So you continue to be shown around the house. You're shown sort of a sitting room, like this, and there's nothing like super. Well, I mean everything's really nice and stuff, and probably not like. Valerie's probably not used to this, but there doesn't really seem to be anything out of the ordinary. It's just kind of. It's not as like ostentatious as it could be, but I think someone was told that they haven't lived here their entire lives or anything. It's
Right.
They've moved out here, so they probably haven't moved everything. The lion didn't go up the stairs, but it is kind of like walking around the downstairs area now. And eventually, hang on. What is this? Yeah, not high at all. It eventually, I was like, what is this intelligence? It's not intelligent. I don't think, like, at all.
No, animals tend to be more wise than intelligent.
It
all the time.
Let me see how discreetly they're gonna do this. So that my hand is right. Not discreetly at all. You see it put its paw on one of the chairs, like test it, and put the other one up, test it, like it's starting to get on, and
Get on the furniture.
yeah, Leo's like snaps and like points at it and says, "Don't," and it backs off. And yeah, you're like downstairs. And he shakes his head.
Where did you get him?
I made him.
You made him.
Yes.
Is that Leo saying it?
Yeah, I made him. It took a long time.
How?
Well, he's not,
It's magic.
sort of.
Okay.
A little bit mechanical. But not entirely. But there's magic involved. It was pretty difficult.
But he seems to have a real mind of his own.
Yeah.
I mean, he's climbing on furniture.
I didn't want it to just sort of sit there. That seemed kind of odd, but he doesn't do anything harmful when he's idle, just I guess harmful to the furniture. He's pretty heavy. Metal is heavy, so.
Oh, he's made of metal.
On the inside.
Yeah. So it's probably like 90% mechanical stuff.
Yeah.
I highly doubt he's a powerful enough wizard to actually animate objects.
Yeah, I'm saying that in character.
Who talked to him before? But it was Curtis that kept talking, that asked them about the Umber Hulk, right? Yeah. Curtis,
I don't think.
Curtis knew he knows something about magic because he knew about that at least, or he knew about like weird beasts that you probably wouldn't know about if you were just sort of like a layperson. Not as much as the other kid knew, but yeah. I don't think anyone's seen him do magic or anything. He is mostly just working.
My favorite Curtis quote to Leo. You're right, handsome. I am bleeding. Blood running down his arm.
Yeah. He tells you a little bit more about how it was it was a huge project that he undertook, and he kind of like hesitates because he feels like he's oversharing, and then says, well, I haven't really built much since then, but it's a hobby, I guess. We all have to have hobbies.
Yeah. So that's your hobby.
Building things like that, yes.
Oh, okay. So it's not just limited to giant mechanical pets.
No, but sometimes.
Okay.
He's not really a pet. It's more of a
Giant mechanical guards.
guard.
Even better.
Mm.
Note to self.
Yeah. So you haven't seen anything else mechanical around town, especially at least like this. So.
Okay.
But.
So that brings a question to mind. How much actual science is there in this world? I think this is the first time I've actually noticed.
It's
Other than guns.
overall what like there are people that do more with mechanical things than what most people will have, but it's overall, it's not like, it just tends to be, magic tends to be more efficient, so people tend towards that, but rough, it's, I don't know what era it would be. This sort of thing is really uncommon, and it takes a lot of research and a lot of things, and like you said, it is partly magic that did it, so.
Yeah, because this is approaching on steampunk.
It's sort of like, that's kind of what it is, like, some people may put their mind to it and basically learn a steampunk level of mechanical stuff, but not many people do, because it's difficult to get the materials, it's expensive, it's not really a thing.
Right.
It's not common.
I mean, there are super specialized parts with a whole bunch of physics required that requires people to actually care about that stuff.
Yeah.
And this is an era where almost nobody can actually copy stuff down.
And there's not like ships, sky ships or anything like that. Not really.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. But there are things like this where people will build mechanical, like servants or mechanical guards or whatever. They're yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So essentially, people are taking this. So essentially, some archmages took some of the properties of Mechanus and applied them to this plan.
I'm trying to think of how much you would, because it's kind of like, it's kind of knowledge that's like, it's just really a small amount of people that know it. So I'm trying to think how much of it, like,
How much
you
of it
would know.
I, as a professor of Americana, would know.
Because this is kind of different. This goes into like engineering and stuff. There are engineers, because people have to build bridges and like things like that. But this is like, this would require someone who knows the engineering and magic, and they put it together, and it's mostly a lot of them have to like experiment and teach themselves and figure it out themselves, because there's not really tons and tons of like how-to guides on building mechanical servants and things like that.
So like, I'll hear a rumor about, oh, this one guy came back from Mechanus. Or
Yeah, like, oh, heard someone built this weird like thing, like mechanical thing. It was like carrying his stuff. It was really weird, like things like that. Yeah, it's pretty. It's a really specialized thing, and it's not common. It's basically what you would know. It's pretty uncommon.
But it's still in the early stages of actual mechanical process.
Yeah, because it is definitely, a lot of these things are powered mostly on magic. It's not like steam powered. It's not a steam powered lion or anything.
Right. This is why we didn't hear any noise coming from it.
Yeah. At the very least, there's magic used to silence it. You don't know the extent of it, because that's getting into a lot of things you don't know. But
all right. Let's go.
So you're led into the dining room where the other Ellie is already there, and Lita shows you his seats, and their father, the mayor, Cyril, comes down after not that long. And he's also dressed fairly nicely, and he looks at Ellie when he comes in to see that he's just dressed normal, and kind of shakes his head, but he doesn't say anything.
Yeah, because
we're all dressed normal.
Yeah, you're all dressed normally, but he looks at Ellie and then doesn't say anything, but sits down at his seat. And someone starts to bring in food. They start with like, just like they put out like bread, and they tell you that they'll be ready soon. You know, he looks at you all. Welcome to my home. I assume you were shown around.
Yes, it's a very, very nice home.
Thank you. It's not as nice as the one we came from, but
I
Now
quiet
he's just
down.
showing up.
I quiet down really quickly as I say that, and I'm like, oh, we shouldn't So,
You're not used to this sort of thing, are you?
I grew up on the streets, sir.
Oh, well, I did not know that. Well,
Came here to get a fresh start.
and you did, from what I can tell, from what I've heard.
Off to a good start, it looks like. So thank you for having us over.
Of course.
Did we give him back his spyglass?
Oh, here's your spyglass.
He takes it. It's like, oh, thank you.
I thought we did give it back at all.
I don't remember, but
We-
if not, he has it
Yeah,
back now.
last session we did not.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
because we were like just getting back to town.
Yeah,
The session had ended with Curtis.
yeah.
So
Curtis asked me about like vision, getting no answers basically.
That's one of those things where it's just a whole bunch of vague stuff where
Yeah.
you have to just interpret it as you go. Ooh.
Yeah.
It's almost as if these kind of things are assumed to be in a book where everybody sees what's happening because they're part of the meta narrative.
So he looks you on me. He asks, "Did you find anything?"
well, we met some interesting characters.
Mm-hmm.
They were all Dragonborn. Every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
All in heavy armor. Every single one of them. Clerics and so on. Paladins.
That's pretty much all their group. They're
Yeah.
members of the Lawkeepers.
The Lawmaster.
Yeah.
Followers of the Lawmaster, and they all had piercings and chains over their snouts, I guess, or
Mhm.
whatever the word is. And so most of them had their mouths chained shut. Their leader did not have her mouth chained, and she had like the. Anyway, we did talk with her, and it seems like she doesn't mean the village any harm, but doesn't plan to come into town either. So yeah, it was definitely not the nomads that we were expecting. But they said they were here just. It almost sounded like they felt like their god was leading them here.
That's odd. Well, it could be nothing. It could be nothing world-shatteringly disastrous, at least. There's clearly something, but
Not world-shatteringly disastrous would be good.
this group.
I would even settle for not local region shattering disastrous.
This group sounds like one that I had heard. They live somewhere in the area, no one's quite sure where, but they mostly keep to the roads and keep them protected, but it's not a massive organization, so they can only focus on a small area. That may be why, though, premonition from a god is a little bit more alarming than what I would expect.
Is that not usually what they say?
Well, they don't usually come to this area, so we don't really know much about them. It could just be possibly that there's bandits or something, but this is we haven't seen them before.
Does anyone in this town follow the Lawmaster?
The sheriff might, but I'm not entirely sure. It also seems a little strict for him.
I can't picture him chaining his mouth shut.
No, I think that's just a Viv thing. I don't think it's a.
That Sect.
So it's not a full religion thing. That group's really, really, pretty devout, as you can tell.
Put the fun in fundamentalism.
I'm not sure what the chains and all that's for, but probably some sort of extreme pact.
It's probably more like a peace bond for their mouth.
That's also true.
I just thought general vow of silence or something.
Either one. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't interacted with them. Generally, if you don't see them, that's good. But they're not unfriendly themselves. They just don't signify good things when they show up.
Wonderful.
Well,
I'm sorry, it just reminded me of the new expansion in WoW just launched. And I found an NPC this week that when you click on her, she goes, "Every time you show up, I get worried."
Yeah, I was trying to word that.
Because when the player character shows up, shit explodes.
I started talking, and I was like, and I had to like keep thinking like, don't say it, because there's the one line in Inquisition where Sarah's talking about the Grey Wardens, and she's like, they're normally like when the hero shows up, it's a good thing, but they're the ones that are being the bad things about to happen. I was like, that's exactly what I need to say, but like I don't need to say it exactly like that. But I was reminding myself of things as I was talking, but yeah.
No, if a reference comes to mind,
Yep.
drop it. Yeah, sure.
But yeah. But he looks a little concerned, but doesn't really say much else about that. The other two, the two sons, Leo doesn't seem to react a lot because he was in the office when he showed up first time.
420 Jesus fan, none of us is currently playing as the dragon right now. I'm not sure exactly what you mean.
I can't read it.
Thanks for joining us, though.
Yeah, and Ellie doesn't seem to know about this, so he looks a little bit, he visibly like kind of concerned, and he like looks up, but he doesn't say anything. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So why did you invite us over here anyway?
Well,
Something about the...
thought it'd be good to get to know you, but also the favor. We need someone to go and meet with the nomads that travel in the area. They are willing to work with us. They help us by passing on information. They don't really ever really seem to want anything in return. They just think it's a good thing to do, I suppose, but a lot of people don't like to go out and speak with them. They're not like us. They're a little different. They're very set in their ways. They don't even like to enter the town. They want to live off the land, and they're a bit defensive of that. So some people have had less than pleasant interactions with them, but not everyone. As long as you can be polite, it's fine. They're perfectly fine.
I see you laughing.
When haven't I been polite? Come on.
I suspect your interaction may be a little easier with their leader now because her mood hadn't been the best, but since her son's actually here now, I think it'll be fine. I forgot what name I gave her. So I gotta go find one. The leader is an orc woman. She's pretty stubborn. I wouldn't ask anything of her more than what she's gonna offer.
Okay.
Just, I guess, just be careful and be hospitable. It's really all I can say. I can show you where we meet. It's not that far away. I can show you on a map after
Okay.
I finish here. You're willing to do this favor for us?
I mean, we've already. What you're describing doesn't sound too different from the Dragonborns that we just met, honestly.
All right, then.
It's all about what their actual beliefs are at this point.
Yeah, but I mean, we managed to get out of that without
Yeah.
pissing anyone off.
So what do you know about nomads?
They're a mixed group. There aren't a ton of them that are mixed the way that they are, but they just take in everyone. They're not particularly confrontational if you're not. They'll fight back, but they don't start fights, which is why we were able to work with them. They appear to just want to be good folks. They just don't want to settle in town. They prefer to live on the land, see the world.
You said in ways which
I've never asked details. They just, when offered a place in town to stay, they were very insistent that they didn't want to do that. Don't like towns.
So with that detail, would I be able to roll a religion roll to see if I can guess their faith?
Based off of, yeah, it would be difficult, but you can try to guess
Yeah.
based off of what you know.
I'll at least narrow that down. And that is a 22.
Nice.
You can tell it's not one of the standard it's probably not one of the standard normal gods. You're not entirely sure if the way that they are is, it may be partly religious, but it may also just be these are people that are against living in cities and don't want to live in cities for whatever reason. You're not entirely sure, at least this city. They're assuming it's all of them, but you don't actually know that for sure. So yeah. He gives you a few more details. The leader's name is Dura, and she's the one that you will probably be speaking with. There may be some other people there, but he couldn't tell you who they would be. She usually doesn't. She hadn't been traveling alone the last couple times they'd seen her, but from what you could tell.
Would you say she explores a lot?
That was awful. I just picked the name that looks the least terrible.
It's okay.
And then this happens. Yeah.
He's filling in for quota. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? He's trying.
Discount quota.
Yeah.
Discount quota. Bootleg quota.
Yeah. And like you already said, she hadn't been very. It could have very well have been the people that were sent, but she wasn't super. She had been in a not great mood the last few times, and yeah, could have been the people. It could have been she evidently was pregnant, not anymore. She's had her child since then, so you don't actually know how long it's been since they've seen her. He suspects that's part of it, but he's not entirely sure. Yeah. And you're also told it'll probably be a small group that actually separates to meet you. It's not going to be the entire group. It may be 5 people at most.
Okay.
But he just gives you the warning that basically just be hospitable. Don't ask too much. Don't ask more than what they're willing to give. He emphasizes that. Don't ask more than they're willing to give. And I think that's about it.
Are we basically just supposed to receive what they bring with them and offer us?
Yeah, you're supposed to meet with them and receive what they give you. And
Okay.
it seems like it's just going to be information. They're not bringing actual goods or anything. But yeah, he had wanted to meet you, so he could tell you all behave.
They're just bringing information.
Yeah, he thinks that they're probably just bringing information. He's not 100% sure because he hasn't.
And we should not ask for more information either if there's something we want to know more about.
There will be a limit,
Okay.
but they will clarify. But if they are keeping secrets, don't ask.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't piss them off. Got it.
Yeah, he seems pretty intent on not upsetting them.
Okay.
We can't have eyes and ears everywhere. The fact that they're willing to help us in this way is that's
Is
not
invaluable.
something. It's not something we want to. It's not a bridge you want to burn. So I would avoid
Okay.
upsetting them.
Yeah.
Well, now that all that's done, how are you are you all right in this town? Do you need anything? I want to get to know all you better because you're all working for me, and I don't know anything really much at all about most of you.
Well, I look at you guys.
I'll go and let Curtis go first.
Okay. Well, I'm quite surprised to hear that. I thought by now I would have been the talk of the town.
I mean, you are a little bit, but I'm not sure.
And I'm even more surprised that
I'm sure it's in a good way.
your son hasn't talked more about me recently.
Why would he talk about you? He
I've been
looks.
listening to Office a lot lately.
Is
Yeah.
he face palming right now?
Yeah, he
Is Leo just?
kind of like whatever he was doing. He just stops and he looks at Curtis. He's not moving and he's not saying anything. He's just staring daggers at Curtis because why did he word it that way? You can see that on his
Because
face.
it has
He
to
kind
be
of presents
the
that.
most awkward option possible.
It's incredibly obvious that he resents the way that you just said that.
I would too.
As you can see, Mr. Mayor, we leave the diplomacy to Curtis. No, I'm just kidding.
I think I'm just gonna actively inside trying to gauge the family as we're talking.
See, I'm distracting them. He's
Yeah.
reading them. Does he get advantage for that?
Let me see. What was it?
Nah, not gonna. Like a 10.
Well, I mean, you can tell. I mean, not much else. It's basically just the father's listening. He's listening, and whether he's actually interested or he's just being polite, you can't
It's
tell.
probably a filter at this point. I'm just gonna assume they're filtering what they have to
Leo-
face.
Leo's resentful. Ellie's also paying attention, but that's really all. He's paying attention, maybe not. You can't tell if he's actually fully listening or not.
That's the part where I'm like,
The doubt comes in because it's Curtis talking. So you're
Right.
used to this. So I'm looking, waiting for you to say more.
Anywho, did my friend Mallory tell you about our visit to the compound?
They I don't remember.
Was
Did
Mallory
you?
went to that one?
Yes.
I think yeah.
For
sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
we heard about that. Yeah.
How long have they been here?
Before we were here. I'm not sure how far back it goes. I've met with them before, but we didn't. It was more formality.
Well, I kind of took upon myself to, apart from security, also act as a bit of a diplomat, and it looks like they seem interested in opening up a little bit,
They do?
didn't they?
Out of character, yes. In character, I don't know that.
Oh, okay.
I think you were the only one that was there that last
The
part.
second time, yeah, it was just you.
You
Yeah,
and
but
maybe
big-
Cedar. I don't
Okay,
remember.
so
Oh yeah. For the we might think about opening up
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
town a little bit. Yeah, I would
because
sure
the
say.
second time I didn't talk about any of that stuff. The
Yeah,
second
you were
time,
asking about like
yeah.
weird stuff they said. Yeah. Yeah, he thinks that. Well, we're not opposed to it. We just sort of let them be because that's what we thought that they wanted.
What were they opening
Basically,
Business and stuff, right?
mhm.
Well, that makes
Commerce.
sense.
It's not a huge step forward, but at least they might keep their gate open a bit more.
Yeah,
I know that they don't want to host a music festival yet.
that's fair. I'm not sure that we should do one again anytime soon either.
Yeah, those
I
things,
think we got our
those things
benefits
really
from
do
it.
need to be outside of town in a far enough place that you can actually not have noise pollution.
Well, really, I just don't think I can't think of anyone in our town that could physically do that again anytime soon.
Oh. Tiring, huh?
Yeah.
Sorry. I'll apologize on behalf of Quota, who would not apologize if he was here. But
It's alright, it was fun. We all just need some time to rest.
It was fun though. But so I guess like I said, I grew up on the streets, and it's been rough. And I tell him what town I came from. I don't remember which one it was.
I don't remember. I
The
should- I'll
same
check
town
it,
as
yeah.
Cedar.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, for those of you watching, lest you think that we are just completely ignoring Cedar, no, Cedar is out today, same with Quota. So Cedar sits off screen. He doesn't really want to be on camera, and so you guys don't really know that he's out anyway. But yeah. So yeah, I tell him what town I came from. And, no. There we go. Not really a whole lot else to tell. Just got by, doing what I had to do. Stealing, wasn't happy about it, but finally just heard some rumors about this town and packed up and made the trip.
I understand. We had a lot of people.
Oh, see, I have no idea what rumors I heard.
Yeah. They're probably just like maybe a flyer or something saying like they need people here, and it was old, so nobody was really like using, like no one was like actively interested in it because it was.
The flyer was in the
really
middle
old.
of the street,
Yeah.
and it was muddy and trampled.
It was like visibly aged compared to the rest of them that had been posted. So you were like, well, this is still a thing. Better than this. Yeah. And he nods and says, well, it's good that you're here. The town we came from always has a place for people too, but I understand it's hard to get to. It's also hard to live there, but this is better. I think this is better for all of us.
Seems to be. least from my view.
Speaking of backstories, can you tell me who else was settled around here before the town came to be?
I'm not sure there were many people settled. I believe this was just a small outpost, sort of a stop. There might have been an inn or something for people traveling through, but I don't believe there was much.
And the orcs were the only nomads that hung around here?
There were orcs. There were a few other groups. A group of elves, maybe. Some of those groups have died out. Some have joined together. Some mixed groups, but once the town started actually being built, a lot of them just started to avoid the area. They didn't want. I don't think they wanted conflict. They probably just wanted to live.
And out of character, do we know anything about the national scale government? Is there one?
It's more of, it doesn't really like, you're still technically in the same country, but it's not but it's more of like Wild West rules. Like you are technically under those laws,
Okay.
but like there's not the same amount of people like enforcing them everywhere.
It's like with your empire, you know?
Yeah.
Yes, we're in the empire.
Yeah,
but
you're in the
can
empire.
Can they enforce their laws? That's the question.
Yeah, it's probably at this point left up to towns out here to enforce it if they so choose. It could mean there's probably towns of just bandits or whatever, and there's towns of people actually trying to settle. You're getting to the edge of what's considered actually the same country, but but you're still technically in it, so you're still technically under those laws and technically under the government, but you don't really have any involvement in it.
Curtis starts planning for when when things start going bad, he's gonna run away to Mexico. That's just on the back of his mind.
Yeah, the equivalent is basically just a little bit farther west. Like you just gotta go a little bit farther and you're there. Like it's
Good
west
job.
and south, so you just Curtis like I'm just gonna keep going. Things get bad, so they keep going. I'm gonna join them. It sounds like a great place.
So, Mayor, I happen to notice there isn't much in the way of a military out here, and we're the only protection this town seems to have. Is that right?
Yeah, it hasn't really been super necessary to have a standing army or anything. There are bandits and such, but they don't travel in such large groups that they want to come in and do anything, especially with some of the people that we have here. But a standard bandit's not going to want to ravage the store of a powerful mage or anything.
How do you feel about a militia?
If it becomes necessary, make an insight check.
You rolled a
Wrong,
12.
wrong die.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a 12. There.
I rolled a 16.
Do I just roll two?
Yeah. Anyone that wants to.
11 plus, I think 1. So that would be 12. There we go. Insight. Oh, plus 3, so 14?
Natural one.
Yeah,
so
Valerie is
I'm-
not even looking or
I'm just,
listening.
I'm just
Yeah.
eating.
You're more focused on sitting across from Leo, and you're more focused on the fact that he's staring dagger. Like you're trying to parse why and how he hates Curtis visibly this much.
Either that or I'm just entertained by it.
You're both
Why not
eating.
both?
You're both eating, but you see he keeps shooting glances, and you're like, "This is weird. I don't understand because I don't think you were there for any of his."
Any of
his-
Curtis's initial flirting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or whatever was going on. Yeah, he
Oh, I know just what I'm gonna ask later.
Ooh.
he pauses when you ask about a militia, and he thinks for a moment and says, "No, if it becomes necessary, we'll look into it, but I don't think that it is at the moment." And he comes off as hesitant, and he was clearly choosing his words right, like thinking about his words very carefully before he said it.
Correct.
You're not entirely sure why.
I'm
Well.
assuming it has more to do with the fact that he's had overhaul conversions and probably other miscellaneous monsters come in and out every now and then.
Yes, you can't tell. He doesn't. Yeah, you can't tell if he's upset by that notion or if he's like. You can't tell. There could be a lot of things, but he's clearly, when he talks about it, hesitant.
Well, at least you have a police force.
Mm-hmm. It's nice. I trust the two that I got down there, but they can't do everything.
Right. It's a growing town.
Yeah.
Probably more so now.
Hopefully we'll have some new blood.
Of course we will. We just had a music festival. Are you kidding me?
That's what I meant.
People might. Well, people like what they saw and they come back.
Yeah. Has it? I don't know if it's even been long enough yet for the numbers to come in. Has it been good for the town, like economically?
It seems so. It seems like it has. Merchant stayed longer than he usually does, so he's probably getting business, which is not typical. He comes by, sells a few things, but he doesn't usually stay this long. It's not more profitable other places. It's understandable.
We probably should check and see if his god is urging him to stay longer.
Okay, the Archmage Merchant?
Yes.
Yeah. So they're saying he's probably
Do we see any imagery of this?
he has had he doesn't wear anything holy. You haven't seen anything holy on his cart.
No.
Yeah. You have no idea.
I know wizards tend to not need to be as religious.
Yeah, no one's at you know about
That dude is so powerful he worships himself.
That actually is what typically happens. Either that or they have sex with a god they've been chosen.
Okay.
Good to know. Another mental note for Curtis.
Interesting point that you bring up there.
Oh, I don't think I bring it up in character.
Okay, I was gonna say like
No.
we can go off on that tangent in
No,
character. That's
I'm
a
not
whole
gonna
place I
bring
could
up.
go, but
I'm not gonna bring up Ed Greenwood Woods, Mary Sue. Sorry, Gary Stu.
yeah. So
Speaking of stew, what are we eating?
it's not like it also isn't anything super fancy, but it's probably nicer than what you get in other places in town. It's like seasoned like there's seasoned meats and stuff like that. There's things like beans and rice and stuff like that. Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm okay with that.
It's kind of spicy actually. They made it spicy.
Okay, I'm not as okay with that.
Yeah. It's a little bit spicy. But all the three of them seem to be eating it. They don't mind. They don't seem to care.
The steak is spicy?
Like basically the sides, all of the sides are.
Okay.
Everything that's on the side is. But
I'm downing my drink and
They see you do that, and Cyril asked for someone to bring out more bread.
That too.
Sort of balance it
So
out.
since we've been here for like at least an hour or something,
Mhm.
what's the size of this household's retinue? I guess like you mentioned 2 guards up to now.
Yeah, there's at
A
least
lion.
2.
I guess I'll count that as person.
Uh-huh.
Is there like a servant that's bringing the food or?
Yeah, there seems to be like a cook or something that it's the same person cooking and bringing out the food. Yeah.
Yeah. Seems like a simple.
You've definitely been in houses that have had way more servants, but or people working there in general, but this one, it doesn't have a ton of people around. It's the 3 of them and then a few people working in the house. And the lion. There's also a lion guard. But that doesn't seem to be like, that's not really well, it's kind of under the.
is the lion behaving right now, or is he like
He
staring
didn't-
up at us hoping
He
for
didn't
food?
come into the kitchen. He's staying in the main hall, and can assume that it probably isn't supposed to leave the main hall. But as you look out, you see it did actually get up on one of the couches, and it's sitting. It's like it's got its head down, like it's sleeping. It isn't actually sleeping because it isn't a real lion,
Right.
but it's like looks like it's sleeping on the couch. It barely fits.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you my intent, and you tell me how it's gonna not
Okay.
Oh
work.
God,
Not how it's gonna work, because I know it's not gonna work.
how it's not gonna
Yeah.
work.
So I want to use my mage hand, and I want to get a extremely small piece of meat,
Mm-hmm.
and I want it to take the meat near the lion and see how the lion reacts. Does it eat? Would it be sleight of hand or?
Are you trying to hide it from everybody? I'm assuming you're trying to hide it from everybody.
It sounds like a good idea, yeah.
Yeah, you can do sleight
Okay.
of hand,
Yeah.
and
Toast face.
12 plus 6, so 18?
let's see.
Not bad.
No one really seems to notice. Actually,
Except Leo, who's probably watching you like a hawk.
Yeah.
no, Ellie notices.
Huh?
He sees you do it, but he doesn't say anything. He just watches, and he doesn't say anything to you, and he doesn't say anything to Leo. He just lets it happen. And why does he always get? Every time I roll for him, he does really well. I'm gonna play him as a.
He's gonna be a PC. So.
Yeah, he's gonna be a PC.
And then he's gonna suck.
He's gonna suck because I'll be rolling a PC. He lets you do it. You sneak the piece of meat over to it. You set it on the ground next to the lion, and does the lion even notice that you do it?
Well, I mean, it should have a good aroma to it. And
Yeah,
it
but
should be right in
oh,
front of its
hold
face.
on.
Can it smell?
That's part of the test.
It
Go ahead.
that was exactly passive, so I didn't need to roll at all. Yeah, it doesn't notice it. It doesn't notice it. Actually, wait, it does have it.
Can I place it on his nose? Have you seen those pictures on like a dog with a dog biscuit?
Yes.
You can place it on its like paws in front of its nose.
Ah, good enough.
It opens side, like its eyes were already open, they didn't close. It sort of like sits up a little bit and looks at it, and then just like lays back down. It doesn't even move it off, it just sits there.
Do I need to roll again if I want to bring the piece of meat back?
Yeah.
Okay, never, it's not working.
So you're just gonna leave the meat
Yeah.
on the like right in
I
between
wonder how it got there.
Mage hand dissipates.
Uh,
Alright. Right.
So yeah,
That just
So-
happened.
that happened.
Well, I mean, half of it was because I just wanted to mess with it, but the other half was I wanted to see if, at a later point, we needed to distract it if we could use food as leverage, which we
Apparently
cannot.
not. Yeah.
Meanwhile, I have like just cut into the steak and I'm looking visibly impressed as I'm eating it.
Yeah. Cyril seems pleased that you're enjoying it. Yeah. He didn't cook it. He's just glad that you're enjoying
Yeah.
what he has
Yeah.
provided.
Turn to Arturo. I go, what about you, Arturo?
So I'm assuming that he's asking about my background. So.
Yeah, asking basically just whatever you want to share.
All right. So I'll go ahead
Anything
and
about you.
go into the basics. Well, I'm actually professor of arcane explorations at the University of see what's the name of the town again? I keep forgetting. I should write it down.
I think I've given you multiple names because I keep forgetting, and I have it written down somewhere.
That could just be the thing. It just has a different name.
Yeah.
It's like Schrodinger's town.
Again, I opened
Yeah.
so many documents since then related to different things. I couldn't just easily open it. Vorno. 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 It's the city is basically, within the city is only rich people.
Yeah. So I go ahead and I explain that I'm a professor of arcane exploration and magical beasts at the University of Vorno.
Mhm. That catches Leo's attention. He looks at you really quickly, like, and Cyril's response is, he studied at our own university, at our own town, but that seems like the sort of thing Leo's interested in.
Yeah, yes, indeed, and I'm certain that Vorno could use an expansion into the more mechanical sides of the academics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I can put in the word when I come back and after finishing my dissertation.
He looks at Leo, who also looks kind of like that happened suddenly.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah.
And Leo says, I'm not sure if I'm the teaching type. I could,
Oh.
I'll consider it.
Of course. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how I would word this at this point. 'Cause
Stopped staring death at you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
long
'Cause
enough
he
to
was
answer.
he was kind of watching you, but not fully, because he didn't actually notice you
See,
try to feed
he
the
was
lion.
so distracted by my looks that he didn't notice I took a piece of meat for his lion. And I don't think anyone has ever said that sentence before.
I think it's great that you managed to sneak that past him.
Okay, so
Everyone except for his brother. He was like just kind of probably just glanced over at the right time. Was like, huh. And just kept eating.
But the fact that Leo was looking right at you.
barely missed it, but he still missed it. So.
So, trying to calculate this because I know probably one of the goals of the university is to get as many people to expand into different
Mhm.
means as possible. So I need to figure out how to pull him in without going strong because I know he probably has a bachelor's degree, right?
I mean, you don't know the level of his education. He's clearly educated and
Right.
clearly very intelligent, and he attended a different. He went to school somewhere else. You're not sure how it.
I mean, you're in an appropriate setting that you could ask him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I will ask him actually. There's always more classes than that. Just that you could always broaden your horizon if that's what you think.
He's thinking about it. Says, well, at the town, the home where we came from, they had schools, and I had attended there. But I left willingly to work on my own projects for myself and to experiment. And I also feel the need to stay here with my family. I don't really, I'm not entirely sure if I want to leave.
Understandable. It would take me a couple of years to finish my own work here anyway. I think at this point I actually go ahead and I explain to everyone here that what I'm essentially doing is I am doing a out of campus study that's based on a specific study question, which obviously I'll let you decide, because that's one of those things where I shouldn't actually write down, because that'll probably be blocked later. So essentially, I need to show that I am able to become tenured and potentially actually become an administrator.
That would be scary. If an elf had tenure and they like just stayed there for like 200 years.
An elf gets tenure at like 50. It can just be there for like 600 years. Like, we can't get rid of him. He hasn't learned anything in 600 years. We can't get rid of him.
Well, the thing is, they still have free education, so it's like, oh yeah, we'll expand on that one, and then I'll just go with other fields and just master all the
Elf with tenure. It's horrible.
Yeah, he's essentially seems like might consider it, but he doesn't really want to leave, at least at this very second.
If you'd like to, I could probably get some of your writings down and bring them over, have them accredited to you, and have the funds sent.
I'll let you know.
Much obliged.
Now, Curtis, roll to see how jealous you are.
That he's actually receptive to someone else.
Yeah.
In general, like not even
Yeah.
flirting, he's just receptive. A lot of strawberries in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the part.
Looks good.
This is the part where I'm like, I know the school's probably gonna screw him over, money-wise, but this is too good for my actual
He
reputation.
explains a little bit that he worked on. He hasn't always worked on by himself. That's mostly since they moved here, and he gives you a couple names that I can give you later if you're interested. But it's people, the other people that have done this sort of mechanical thing, this sort of mechanical arcane thing.
Right.
They're mostly it's probably like 3 people, and say like 2 of them are already professors at this school,
Right.
this academy.
At their academy?
At
or
theirs, yeah.
Okay. I was about to say.
No,
Yeah, did everyone come from Bordeaux?
No, he's from a different. I think I gave you the name of it, but I don't remember. If I didn't, it was Vauzelles. Vauzelles, yeah. Vauzelles. Vauzelles.
Yeah. So what do I know about Vauzelles?
Roll history to see how much you know.
Yeah.
There's very basic knowledge that most people would know that it's a city built essentially at the
20.
Okay, the city built essentially on the top sort of on a plateau, so it's it's basically freezing cold there all the time.
Great.
It's not exactly the same. It's more from what you can tell, what you've known from people that have visited and things like that. It's probably where the very bureaucratic system of this town is. They follow not one of the normal gods, but a saint that once he starts talking about the city, you realize it's probably who they have the big painting of.
Yeah.
Who is sort of a protector type god.
Right.
Her name is Johanna, and she had, and she's one of the people that, unlike a god, was born mortal and became this holy figure, sort of so she's like a saint and not like a full god.
So,
She had led them there during I'm gonna have to write out a full time. I'll write out a full
you
timeline.
can write it up later.
But there was a war happening. A war had happened, and it was mostly between particular groups of elves, particular groups of humans, and she had led the people who were sort of caught in the middle up this mountain. She had defeated. The story says she had defeated a white dragon on her own to claim its land for her people, and they set up a city there. And the people tend to be fairly cautious. They're fairly strict, but they're all law-abiding. That's one of the main draw points for a lot of people that migrate to that city. Is it's difficult to get in, but it's basically the safest place you can be. If you do essentially, if you commit crime, you're either removed and unable to return, or you are executed, depending on how bad it is. If you murder someone, you're going to be executed.
I think you mentioned this city in an earlier session.
Yeah, and so this is where they come from. You've probably heard of their academy. There may have been people that have left from that town to go to yours, or yours to there. There's most people, or a lot of, especially upper class people, attend it at least for a short time, and it's pretty. It goes from general education all the way up to highly specialized study.
And their field of highly specialized study is different from ours. There's probably more mechanical.
It just depends on who. It depends on what you do. It's mostly you will. The people that like to stay there and study, which is what you assume Leo did, will find something that they want to research and learn.
So it's not like
do.
our world where there's a whole bunch of people who specialize in mechanical engineering.
It's sort of like it's at this school it's pretty individual. It's also, once you get up to that level, there aren't a ton of people that are still there.
Right.
It's people who really want to learn things, or mostly really rich people.
Yeah.
By that time, most people would have left and gone into whatever their trade is, or joined the guard, because they have a very, very, very large standing guard.
Right.
It's probably the largest standing guard in any of the towns any of the cities that you know of.
So do I know the type of elf then?
For
Right.
this,
Yeah.
no, you wouldn't know what type of elf Ellie is. Let me see. Roll a perception check.
Okay.
Or investigation, I guess. If you're trying to look at any guess.
14.
Yeah, no, you can't tell. You can just tell he's half elf because of his ears, and he's smaller than the other two,
Right.
a little bit shorter.
So, at this point, I'm going to ask you a meta question. So I know in Faerun, what typically happens is every god has a portfolio, and a set of portfolios, and for more to become a god, they have to take over a portfolio somehow.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming that's different from this world.
Yeah, and this one, things are sort of attributed to gods, but they do have some crossover in some places.
Right.
But it'll usually be the most important thing that they have will be their thing, and then if they may they may have crossover in the way of it gets kind of what you're specifically doing with that. So someone who is sort of I guess for a meta purpose, someone who's a war cleric in the sense of I will lead people to war to uphold the law
Right.
exclusively for the purpose of upholding the law will follow the lawmaster, whereas someone who's a war cleric in the I'm a war cleric to defend
Right.
people may be, especially if they're from this city, will worship Johanna instead.
Right.
They'll get their power from her, but there aren't a ton of clerics.
I think
that.
I
It's-
think I need to reword the question a little more.
Yeah.
But I'll figure out how to reword later. Because there is a thing where mortals become gods quite often in fake guidelines.
Yeah.
But usually what happens in there is one of the gods die, and then the mortal, through a act of heroism, obtains that
This
level.
one, in this world, it's similar in that someone has to do something incredibly prominent. They usually do something incredibly prominent. They have a following in life, and what they do is usually helps and benefits a lot of people. And no one knows exactly how it happens, but the general assumption is they have impressed some god.
And then the god gives a portion
god
of their
gives them-
portfolio.
The god gives them the ability to, that's
Okay.
basically, they're removed from this life. That's generally how the story ends, is they suddenly disappear.
Okay. Are there... Okay, I don't know how to explain this, but there's this concept called Chosens in Forgotten Realm, where essentially they give a tiny amount of the divine spark that they have into somebody, and that
It's-
gives them special abilities. Like
It's
Elminster Silverfire.
Not quite that, it's because they do sort of become gods you can follow and gods you can become clerics of, but they're like demigods, I guess.
Yeah, that's what
So,
Chosens are.
but
They're
they're-
effectively
and it's-
demigods.
Yeah, they're like demigods,
Okay.
so
But
basically.
demigods can also walk this plane. and
Yeah,
do
they
their
don't
things.
anymore, because once you have the mortality removed, they're basically just, they're up, they can't come back down. It's
Okay.
just how that tends to work. But yeah, this is one of them, and
Yeah, this is one of those little looking into the machinery of the system that
yeah.
nobody wants to actually do, because then it's like, God, you're complicating things too much.
I don't know where the notes are, but I wrote some of this down already. But
You're good. Like, I'm
yes.
asking all these nuts and bolt questions, and you probably just have the individual parts, not necessarily all the little cogs put in yet.
and also you make the joke about sleeping with gods. Technically you can. It just they
Yeah.
won't become gods till after. But anyway, because these are the people that are those. But yes, that's kind of what she is like. She wasn't a god whenever she did all this stuff, but she became one, and now she is revered as one.
Okay.
And there's a couple other like that. But
Yeah. But as far as we know, demigods don't walk this earth.
no, they don't.
So there's no Chosens. The only way that you show divine power is through being a cleric or a paladin.
Yeah, and clerics, it has to be innate, and clerics and paladins can. I'm kind of on the fence. I think paladins are basically, if you want to give your life to a god, you have to be a paladin. You don't get to learn how to be a cleric.
Right.
Clerics learn how to channel their magic, not like 101. Here's where you start to get magic. It's like you have to have been born with that
Yeah,
connection.
tactic spark, yeah.
So yeah, that's the information on that tangent, the very long tangent.
Yes. And now Jacob's back, so...
And now you're back, so we can stop talking about it. Alright, so yes. So yeah, you know about that town, so you know a decent amount, probably because people have visited from their school to yours. Yeah, and you know that's generally, as far as the education goes, pretty much everyone has some sort of basic education, but not, and if they want to continue, they can, but they don't necessarily have to, or not a ton of people do, especially to the extent of like creating new things in the way that he has.
Yeah. Understandable.
Right, so don't think anyone else.
So, Ellie, what are you up to?
He is just sitting there, kind of.
Please tell me you're not into that boring stuff.
Not really. No,
Good, we can get along.
I look at you
went
kind of annoyed when you say that boring stuff.
I went to school as long as I had to, but that's basically it. I didn't really want to stay. I don't really need to.
I agree. There are a lot of successful people who dropped out of school.
Well, I didn't drop out. I
But didn't continue. Yeah.
didn't continue because I'm not really.
There's a Steve from Jobstown. I know.
It also doesn't hurt, have rich parents.
I've been there, I know.
I don't have really.
So, I haven't seen you out in town that much.
No, I don't go out a lot. It's pretty hot out there.
I know, right?
I don't enjoy going out in the heat.
Alas, it is part of my job to do so.
Oh, well, see, we're all sitting here going, preach it.
Yeah, yeah. I walk outside and it's just like, oh my god. In my house, the AC all the way up, and I walk outside, just, oh my god.
You'll be surprised how much a third fan does to help.
Yeah. Yeah, he just chats with you, I guess.
But yeah, so they're in that whole, oh man, it's so hot phase. I'm like, that does bring up an interesting point.
Mm-hmm.
What made you guys decide to leave from the mountains to go to the desert?
Cyril answers you and he says that I bought the mines. Had to come down and make sure that I set it up, make sure it's all.
Yeah, that would be quite a motivation there.
Yeah, it's all worked out.
Been a good buy.
Yeah, I'm also not a fan of the heat, but you gotta make sacrifices sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I
what
don't
else
know
to
if you have any more questions yet?
I'd like to ask for a time to talk to Ellie while everybody else is talking.
Yeah, as you.
Probably.
Are you trying to make Leo jealous?
Well, now that you mention it, yeah. But probably like tomorrow or 2 days from now, something like that. I'm trying to, and you tell me if I need to roll for this. I'm trying to not let the mayor know.
You definitely need to roll for that.
Yeah. I mean, what are you gonna like? What do you say? Are you trying to say it like quietly or?
Actually, I have a better idea. Okay.
Roll for assholery.
Yeah. I ask to be excused and shown to the restroom first.
All right.
Which
Yeah.
I assume one of the guards does.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one that's typically there. He's the one that's basically he came back. He went out to do something. You don't know what he did, but he'd come back in at this point, and he was in the main hall, probably just like waiting to
Okay.
show you anywhere if he needed to. So he.
Am I right in assuming that the walls in this place are made of wood?
They might be brick in this one because it's.
Okay, brick.
Yeah.
Okay. That still works.
Yeah.
I'd like to go to the restroom, but then cast message on Ellie.
Okay, yeah. You're led to the restroom and the guard goes back to where he was and you can cast message to him.
Okay.
Because I think it requires you to be within 100 feet. They're not leaving.
Is it more than 100 feet?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think it would be. No.
Well,
It's not like right next door, but.
Dat Borg, I believe, is what it says. Thank you for the follow. You have made Loki very happy. We're
So-
glad you're here.
So yeah, you.
I just want to say something along the lines of I need to speak to you within the next couple of days, preferably without your father being present.
He responds.
Sincerely, the most trustworthy man in town.
He responds. I can try to get away with. Just let me know.
Can I
And,
set up a time for tomorrow?
Hold on, I'm checking. I need to check something.
I send a message. Wait on, I'm gonna check my schedule.
Yeah, let me check.
Pull
You're
up my
like, oh,
calendar.
okay. um.
Please hold.
Yeah.
Somehow Ellie gets hold music.
Okay. So yeah, you ask him to set up a time,
Yeah.
and he says, I should be free all day, anywhere or anytime. And then you get a message back
Okay.
in response and says, the time it would be best if it was when my dad and my brother are in the office. I will be here alone, but I can get out.
Got it. I wash my hands and then leave the bathroom.
All right.
I assume they have indoor plumbing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I feel like that's actually been a thing in some places for a really long time. So
Yeah.
we're just gonna say it's been a thing here. It's a thing here because
Okay.
that's better than everyone having outhouse. It'd be gross.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you.
Wild West with exceptions.
Yeah, with bathrooms because.
Yeah.
I mean, like, not like you don't have a water heater in your house or anything, but you can.
Why buy a water heater when you have mages that
Yeah,
can do it
exactly.
for you?
Exactly.
No one ever asked, was it all outhouses in your campaign?
Mostly, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. There was a bathhouse.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that. Okay, so
No one wants to bathe in it, but there was a bathhouse.
I think the default is there are bathhouses, or there are outhouses everywhere, but you don't speak about it because that's part of the
Yeah.
of the nasty details that are
Yeah. You
tedious.
pretend aren't real.
That
Right.
it's more like you skip those details because those
Yes,
aren't
we know.
really fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Not
There-
gonna ramble
yeah.
any more than I should.
So yeah. So
Ramble,
you come back
ramble,
in and
What a wonderful restroom you have, Mr. Lacrosse. Lacrosse?
it was the row, I think.
The row.
He nods. Yeah,
Lovely.
it's all right.
It's one of the 3 restrooms in this town.
Yeah,
I'd give it 5 stars on Yelp.
oh, all right.
Yeah.
This is a business, but sure. Yeah.
Is Leo staring new daggers at him? Like, what
He-
are you up to?
He looks. He doesn't seem to know how to react to that. He's like, he looks, he's like,
Me neither.
what? Oh, and then he goes back to his food. Yeah, unless there's anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, we can fast forward or whatever.
Yeah.
Does anybody know anything about John other than the fact that he lives in the compound?
Are you going to ask them that?
Yes. I want to, like, the way I would approach it would probably be something along the lines of, did John used to live in town before going there?
They don't seem to know. He's probably lived out there for a while, longer than they have lived here. So,
Do they know him at all?
Cyril had met him, he told you he'd gone out there to, sort of like as a formality, like, hey, we bought the mines, we're bringing people out here. And then like, and had offered the jobs for I think it's like 2 or 3 of them, that only 2 or 3 of them came out, but he'd offered jobs. And he says John was already living there then. He doesn't really know much about him, other than he lives out there and he's married to one of them, but one of the people there. He assumes that's why he lives out there, but he doesn't know how he got there, or why he's the only one.
Oh, he's the only one.
The only human, yeah.
That would probably trigger something in my head to like investigation, try to put pieces together from what I know.
I don't.
I don't think I know that much about
No.
Dark Elven Society.
This it's kind of weird that they they have someone that's not one of their own there, but they've also come up above the ground, so this is kind of just a weird group. Yeah, I don't think you'd be able to know why he was there outside
Because
of that.
it's one of those things where it's like, we make exceptions to the rules, but what I know about Dark Elf Society are they're like, I'm pretty edgy, I don't want to kill people, bruh.
It's more like they don't. They stay to themselves. They don't. When they're underground, they especially don't really come across other people, so they aren't used to interacting with other people, so they just tend to not. But this group does, and they seem okay with it, and whenever it's not like.
I somehow got the impression that the leader lady,
Mm-hmm.
I don't recall.
Maroon, yeah.
Maroon.
Maroon 5.
I kind of somehow got the impression that John and Myron were a thing.
I think she had said, but she had said he's married to her daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't,
okay.
so it's not her. She's married to her daughter.
He had a kid, but
With the daughter.
and he complained that the kids aren't growing up fast enough.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah,
it's
that's right.
hassle.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
Because Curtis is like, you
That's
grow so
like-
fast. He's like, not fast enough.
Having to like pay for alimony for like an elf child, like it's been 20 years.
Oh my
How are
God.
they still this? They're not still a child. It's a 20-year-old.
But I assume they develop slower too, so.
A little bit.
They become physically adults at the age of 20, but then they emotionally grow up over the course of 80 years after.
It's he's growing a little.
Oh my God! So they're like wild, crazy, rebellious, practically teenagers for 60 years.
80 years.
So I think
Well,
that's
I'm
an
talking from
elf.
20 to 80.
As far as
20 to
half
100.
elves,
Oh, 20 to 100.
I think it's
Oh.
a half elves where it depends on if they
Half
grow.
elves are just straight up pretty much like humans.
They're
only
similar to
they-
humans.
Only they grow to adulthood at 20 instead of 8.
Yeah.
Instead of 15.
In this setting, it's basically like they age a little bit slower. It would be noticeable to a human, but it would just seem really fast, or fairly fast to. It's sort of like it's noticeable, but it's not like they're not hugely different from the way humans are. And it emotionally depends on if they're raised with humans or with elves. This kid is raised with both, so you don't know for sure how he's gonna turn out, but the ones that are raised with elves will seem more immature for longer because they aren't expected to grow up for a long time. And then some will seem way older than they should. So you got both of them. And you would know that because you were one of each. Yeah.
Before we leave, I would ask again when those nomads are supposed to meet us.
Like I said,
And I assume he's shown us on a map.
yeah,
obviously.
it was either the next day or the day after, but he shows. I don't remember. I think I told you, but I don't remember if it was the next day or the day after.
Okay.
But he shows you. He takes you to the study, and he shows you the map of the town. He points to a place outside of town, a little ways away, and tells you that's where you're going to. That's where they tend to meet. There's a small like a sort of like a shack or something to mark the spot. No one really uses it for much, but you can go in if it gets too hot or anything like that.
We have a new hiding spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This abandoned
Shack.
rundown shack. Yeah.
Okay.
So that shack is like just outside of town. And
It's outside of town, and it's just a small building that they basically just use to meet up with them. No one.
Okay. Are there any buildings next to that building?
It's just the one. It stands
Standing
out.
by
How
itself.
far
Yeah.
away is that building from the town?
It's probably like a couple hours out. It's not super far, but it's not like right up on the town because it's probably about as close as the nomads are gonna get.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the shack will not make it into the VR chat map.
Yeah.
Either that or I'll have a VR chat map of just the shack.
Yeah. Side one of like this like a rundown like wooden shack.
Endless
It's like
stretch.
no one's tending to it, so
Endless stretch of nothing. Shack.
if you want to squat in the shack.
And they have to walk 2 hours in real time
Yeah.
to get there.
Oh god.
Immersion.
You go there, and sometimes there will be like one person standing there, like one person just like,
I hear there are monsters in town.
yeah, all right, bye. Like,
I heard a rumor that monsters are coming back.
yeah.
Oh wait, D&D goes west, not JRPG.
Doesn't matter, same thing still applies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because that's
Yeah.
actually a regular RPG trope, not just JRPG.
I'm gonna say it's not the next day, but the day after, because Curtis made plans that next day, so I assume he wouldn't do if he had like if he knew he was going to be there.
Okay.
They assume he's not trying to like tease Ellie and making him go somewhere and then like sit there all day by himself. Like,
We assume.
Why didn't I
this.
think of that?
Is that a fair assumption?
yeah, I assume because he actually has been
You
trying to talk.
assumed something about Curtis.
Yeah, he tries to talk to half elves and he sees them, so I assume he's gonna actually be nice to Ellie because he's half elf. That's it. That's the only reason. Yeah. Here's the app. No. Okay. Yeah. So you're shown this, and you're whenever you're ready to leave, you're shown out.
Mhm.
As you're leaving, as you're leaving the gate, and you see you can't. Mallory, I think. Yeah, Mallory only kind of catches it like out of the corner of her eye, but the rest of you, you're either like turning or whatever. But you see the door kind of like crack open, and Ellie slips out. He clearly thinks he's being really sneaky, and he shuts the door behind them, and then like takes off to one of the houses
My
outside.
best perception is 15, so.
Yeah, you see him. You definitely see him do this. He's going to one of the houses outside, and then yeah.
Is that while we're eating or is that?
It's while you're leaving. Whenever, as you've like left, you're leaving the gate. Like
Okay.
you're walking back to your house. You like turn a corner and you see this happen. You see him do this. He's not. He
Yeah.
is looking around like he thinks he's like sneaky because he doesn't see anybody. But
So,
you don't know what the house.
do you have any idea of what's inside the house?
Um,
The door.
Some of the guards and probably the cook, say like, how many people were there? Or like, the cook and one of the other guards had gone into the other one, and the one that like is with them all the time had gone into the house that he's going to. So you assume that's where they stay. You don't know what he's doing, but he's trying to sneak out to the house out there. Who knows
Yeah.
what?
So I'm just gonna just touch with the commoners for now. Then got it.
Yeah. So yeah. If you don't do anything about that, then you just go home and next day.
Got to tend to that.
Yeah.
I've got to tend to the garden, make sure they cross pollinate correctly,
Yeah.
so I get those nice purple flowers.
When we get home, I want to say good news. Well, do you want the good news or bad news first?
Bad news, I guess.
Well, things might be going down in a really big way, and I led them on the conversation I had,
Yeah.
and
With
overemphasize,
the-
and overemphasize just to make the story scarier and better and more entertaining.
Yeah.
I'm gonna emphasize on what the drow said about like there's a reason we built these walls around
Oh,
us.
Yeah.
that okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, when you said I let them in about the conversation, I was
Like, you're
the
gonna tell-
I was like, the conversation with Ellie?
About,
Why
like,
is this scary?
like, yeah, like he's
I
gonna
am
sneak
not
out.
getting why this is scary.
He's willing to break the rules, you guys. It's crazy. He's wild.
Shit's going down.
Okay,
I convinced him to leave the house.
So what about the building walls?
So, go ahead.
Yeah, so the general gist of it was they didn't say why. She gave basically no reason, but like no details or reasoning. But she said they built the wall. The walls were built around their compound for a reason. Something had happened before, and she had thought that that's what her vision was about, but she was wrong. She had like the same or a similar vision, which means what happened before was not what was going to happen. But she didn't give any details about any of that. It was really vague. It was clearly intentionally vague. But she also told Curtis, which he probably doesn't pass on, don't worry, this could be in the future. It's not going to happen as soon.
But Curtis is now just
Yeah.
babbling it
But
all.
Curtis is like dramatic.
Things are going
overdramatic.
down, man.
We're all gonna die.
Yeah.
And this is the
Overdramatic.
part where I, as an optical, be like,
So-
well, I'm typically supposed to be the oracle, so I have to do the interpretation of what all is being said. So, trying to figure out, okay, so drows, what kind of gods do the drow worship again? Trying to figure that out.
The main one, they probably, people don't know a lot about them because they don't interact with them because they don't go out of they typically don't go out of their way to come out above the ground. They worship a goddess called the Weaver, who is essentially goddess of fate, and fate and like the cycle of like birth, life, death.
Right.
So it's pretty much like it's like a things happen and this is how they happen, and don't fear death because it happens to everybody, and when you die your body will feed into new life, and like it's that sort of thing.
Except if you're a hyena, in which case you're not part of the circle. We'll throw you out.
So this is the part where I'm like, okay, fate. Oh, right, fate doesn't mean anything unless you have specific details, which I'm assuming means I need to put it into context of the lawmaker, and with that in mind, no, still nothing, because the lawmakers just follow whatever the hell laws in the area, which means we need to figure out if they follow laws of, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. Still need one more detail to actually put things together.
Yeah, you got a lot of weird details, but like as you're trying to piece them together, you're not sure if the two things are connected, and if they are,
Well,
you have no idea how.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
okay, so if something happens once, it's a fluke. If it happens twice, could be a coincidence. 3 times, then you have a pattern. Let's see if some other weird religious group shows up here.
And this is the part where I go to, okay, how do fates normally work? Well, essentially what happens is one family gets a fate, which then they try to avoid, but by trying to avoid it, they actually make it happen, which is more of that karma thing.
I think a detail that I'm not sure. I mean, it makes it seem a little bit less scary. So I don't know if Curtis would have emphasized it, but she had said if she will give if what she saw happening happens, she will give warning. So it indicates kind of it's something
I think
bad.
I would say that because I want to make it look.
Because that does indicate that it's something bad.
It's
Yeah.
something bad.
And also, I would
But
also,
it means you'll be warned about it.
Yeah.
But he's emphasizing, that must mean it's really bad. That's what I assume. Is he's emphasizing this is
I'm
bad.
also trying to sell it as like I've made contacts. I'm like, you guys owe me. Like I'm setting up warning signals. You know.
So, but we don't know what we're being warned against.
It's really
So-
super vague right now. Like, literally, it's
Well, whatever it is, a wall can stop it. At least slow it down.
Well, that
Mhm.
doesn't
And
sound
whatever it
like
is-
it's super threatening then.
This is the part of it.
Well, I mean, a wall would slow down an Umber Hulk as well, and it almost killed us. So
Walls
Fair.
don't stop Umber Hulks, they have burrowing speeds.
depends on the wall.
It goes really deep in the ground. It has to go really far to go under it.
I mean, if they have a burrowing speed, they can just go right through.
Well, it depends what the
Okay.
material is.
A metal wall. I mean,
Okay.
maybe, I don't know.
Well.
At
Okay.
this point, it's just like,
Curtis, I'm afraid to ask, but what's the good news?
Oh. The good news was just that I had some new information.
Curtis, I really hate you right now.
How about you think?
I'll give you some more information on the details of what I'm calculating after I get more
And then
information.
I look at you and I go, oh, that's why you were asking about a militia.
I was gonna ask about maybe a palisade around the city too, but given his stance, I'm sure he's not gonna be in favor of it until he sees something major. But what I am gonna work on is making sure that our little house is secure over the next few months.
Does that also include a palisade?
Depends on our budget, but yes.
It depends on if we get paid.
Depends on whether we save the carpenter's life and he owes us big.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. One of us is gonna try to kill him, and the other one save him.
Okay, so I'm assuming that's...
I just have the thought of someone trying to do that because he's a tiefling, he knows some magic, just like someone comes at him and he's hellish rebuke immediately. It's like, this plan is going really wrong.
You know, like the movies where like someone's relative is trying to like kidnap them, and it always goes wrong somehow.
Yeah, like if the person fights
Yeah.
back, actually fights back
Yeah.
well. Exactly what I just imagine. Just like, not even like, he doesn't even have a weapon, he just casts one spell. Like, the plan's going awry. I didn't expect that. Everyone running.
Oh, I was just picturing if Cedar was here today, he'd just go, I volunteer to try and kill him.
Gets out his gun, like, just cocks his gun. Doesn't even say
Yeah.
anything, just cocks his gun.
Yes.
It's probably what Cedar would do, and you're like, no. Hopefully, it would stop it.
And maybe, you know, because he's kind of cardboard right now, maybe he actually does that.
Yeah, just cocks his gun. So,
Okay. So do we have a timetable on this craziness?
No,
Well-
because it's just a prophecy with no context at all.
Same thing he said. Except since some of us here have longer lifespans, we're more likely to see it if we stay here.
Huh.
I guess that
So-
was the good news. You're gonna die before it happens. Congratulations, Mallory. And I like whistle and keep walking.
I feel strangely conflicted about this. But it's not like
casually
next
having
week.
your mortality thrown in your face.
It's not like next week or next month. So that's of course. In character I say that. Out of character, this is a, you know, role-playing campaign. Every
it will
prophecy
happen while you're
every
in town.
prophecy is about to come true right now.
It will happen. You don't know when, but it will probably come to pass. Whatever this vague,
Yep.
this vague non-committal prophecy was that Curtis has passed on to you. Yeah.
Yeah, but out of character. Go ahead.
I just imagined it like if it doesn't come to pass and it's just, you know, like centuries from now.
Like
it's just
years.
remembered as like in, you know, in a Bible type holy book, and it's the prophecy according to Curtis. Sorry, I just had to get that out there.
Yeah, imagine if Curtis like wrote the Bible or something. It would be a much more fun read.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
It would all be like that passage that was like, it would all be as dramatic as that. I just watched it this is a side tangent. I just watched this like unsolved crime video, and it was talking about this guy who the guy who was found shot in the desert. Like he was clearly shot by someone else, but it was written off as as a suicide. He had all these really weird clues that made no sense, especially when you put them together. They still made no sense. And one of them was like a $2 bill pinned to his underwear that had a Bible verse written on it, and it was this really dramatic long thing that basically summed up as "Remember your Creator." And people were like, "No, it's probably a threat," is what this was relating to. But it was it's like this long thing that's basically like, "You are not powerful. Remember your Creator," and that's what Curtis would write. That's the whole thing.
I imagine
And you know what? The prophecy, according to Curtis, would begin with the words, "Good news, everyone."
I have bad news and I have good news, everyone.
It's
I
set up
bring you
like
good tidings.
yeah, imagine like
Greetings, I have good news. Also
what?
good news.
Like Christian like missionaries and preachers. A lot of times they say, "Have you heard the good news?"
Yeah.
That's
exactly
Good
what I was,
news.
yeah.
That's
We have gotten way off
Yeah.
topic. I'm sorry.
So, guessing no one else does anything. No one else does anything else tonight besides just normal.
Yeah.
Just normal shooting the shit. And
Yeah.
Cedar has probably gone down to the basement.
Yeah. Cedar's gone downstairs.
He's been down there all night.
Yeah,
just
he's
bang,
working on
bang.
his forge and guns. He probably didn't go to dinner and they were just like, he's busy. I understand. You've seen him at the
Missed a
forge.
perfect opportunity to make him tell his backstory.
Yeah. He remains mysterious to everybody.
You have to shoehorn in something else like that now.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the other 3 players.
Yeah,
Sorry.
whenever those two are here,
Yeah.
they will definitely be shoehorning in their backstories, making you reveal it.
And later
I'll
on,
die if you don't
and
tell me
later
where
on
you came from.
You'll actually force me to actually tell my dissertation. So once you tell me what that
Oh, yeah.
dissertation's about. Ooh.
So yeah. So you just go about your night, and nothing else happens. Next morning comes, and you're free to do pretty much whatever you want that day. You're expected to go out the day after. Curtis had made plans, but I don't know if any of the rest of you have anything.
I have various.
Yeah,
So
Curtis
many.
has a lot of plans.
Yeah.
Do
Now
either of
we
you
have
have
a plan.
anything to do?
I think today I'll just dedicate myself to actually writing up a study plan for that older child in the school, just
Yeah.
in case.
Just in case he.
I go,
Or whoever.
so what are you planning to do today, Curtis?
Well,
So I think this is the
I'm
problem.
planning to go
into
to the carpenter, the bank, the sheriff, and I have a private meeting scheduled.
Wow. The carpenter, the bank, the sheriff, and a private meeting about.
And this time, it's not in the House of Merriman. Wing, like overly emphasized wing.
Did you tell anybody that you spent the night
No,
there?
I
Okay.
just dropped it out of context right
Okay.
now.
I didn't think you did. I just
Yeah.
wanted to clarify.
You're free to come along if you're there and just walk out.
I have nothing else going on.
We're gonna go with Curtis.
If the sheriff's office is on the way, I will
Yeah.
stop in there.
The sheriff's office
check
is
in.
one of the first. It's if you're coming down the main street near the entrance. I don't think the house is actually near the entrance, but if you're coming in down the entrance, it's one of the first places. It's where were you going? Where the sheriff, the bank,
Carpenter.
carpenter. Yeah, the sheriff is closer to the gate. The bank is on the street a little bit further down, and the carpenter is closer to the I don't remember where I originally said it was, but I've been imagining it now like it's actually on the like square, which is kind of a weird place for it to be, but that's why he was able to do the stage. But yeah, so yeah, you can start either way. The carpenter, bank, and the sheriff's office, carpenter, and the bank is how the order they go from the entrance to inward.
I walk in and I assume Sheriff Leap is there.
Yeah, they're both there.
How are you doing this fine morning?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Excellent! Just absolutely fantastic. We had a wonderful night last night.
Morning.
Yeah, good morning.
The mayor offered us dinner and we decided to take it on. And let me tell you, we put in a good word for you. You've been so helpful to us these past few
Alright, yeah, that's nice of you to do.
Wink. This is Curtis's shtick. Like wherever he goes, he tries to like make it look like he's doing things for people.
Yeah.
When he's
He's not doing anything for anybody but Curtis.
I am staring at Curtis confused because I don't remember us putting in a good word for Sheriff Lee.
I don't think you mentioned him at all.
Yeah, okay.
Like,
No, I didn't even think about it.
I don't even realize that this is what Curtis is doing, and so I'm just looking at him confused.
Anywho, the reason for us bothering you this fine morning is that me and my friend there, if you recall, paid a couple of gold pieces for attaining horses,
Uh-huh.
and I told you to get the paperwork ready,
Uh-huh.
and we were kind of told that we're gonna get rebated for that.
Yeah.
That will be after the paper gets completed.
Yeah.
That's why he's here. That's not why I'm here.
Well, since he's not interested, you can give his money to me.
And that's not really how that
And
works.
I like roll up my suit. So, what do I need to sign?
He
Walk up to it.
he turns around like to Yeva, who's like heard this and she started to like go through stuff, and she actually does take out like forms, and
But she's like, these paperwork are going to be filled out by this person.
it's mostly done already just because to save everybody some time, because she does all the paperwork and she can do it. She can get through it pretty quickly, knows what she's doing, and she shows you, or you mark how much gold you spent, who you gave it, or who you spent it with, and then your name or your sign it. So
It's an expense report.
yeah.
Okay.
I assume it doesn't need rolling. Roll to do basic earth.
I'm saying, I mean, if you're trying to lie about
No.
it, then like you're just gonna require some rolls and some conversations.
I
but
thought about it, but then I decided this is the first time I'm doing it, so it's
So
best-
not this
yeah,
time.
Not this time.
So yeah, no, you can just do it. You
Okay.
can just put in however much it was.
And do they give me the money, or do I have to just?
She takes the paper and she looks at it and says, like, and she explains they're gonna like check with everybody and make sure that this is what you spent, and it's what you spent, and it's spent on what you said you spent it on, and then they're gonna.
I look to Mallory. You're already here. Are you sure you don't wanna give it a signature?
Oh, well, yeah, sure. I just meant I wasn't here to
It's okay. You're welcome.
badger them
Yeah.
about it. So yes, I'll.
No, I'm not badgering you. Am I, Sheriff Lee? We're friends, right?
Yeah, we're friends.
There you go. See, Mallory? Come on.
Okay.
I'm friends with Mallory too.
And while I
all
fill out
friends
my
here.
part of the paperwork, I'll ask, so you got anything for us today? Just checking in.
Not really. There's just general cleanup and things still, just a little bit left. It's mostly all done, but if you're interested in that, I'm sure you could help someone out.
Clean up.
Yeah, from the festival. Most of it's already done. It's just, getting rid of stuff that we don't need laying around.
Yeah. Okay. I'll look around and.
He'll direct you to the places that need to be worked on, like
Okay.
places where there's like broken down things that need to be moved out or taken somewhere, things like that. It's just like the last little bit of it. They actually did a pretty good job of cleaning everything up in the past couple days.
Okay.
So yeah. So
In game time, how long has it been since the
like
festival?
3 days. This
Okay.
is like literally the last parts of it. Of like
Okay.
we have a couple things left that we need more hands like moving, so we're gonna.
So basically,
yeah.
Quota threw such an epic party that it took 3 days to clean up.
Almost nobody was helping that first day because everyone was
Drunk.
drinking heavily. So the next day they were like, I'm not. And yeah. So it was more like the second day people went out and started picking up like papers and whatever, what have you. And this is basically just like the last bit of like the big stuff that they didn't get to yesterday.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you can go, and yeah, you're told a couple places that they have like the stands and stuff they had outside. They need to, it's taking up space somewhere, so they want someone to help them move it or break it down.
Dismantle it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's mostly what it is.
The remnants of the stage or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
The stage is mostly gone, but it's not fully gone because I think it was like Cedar and the carpenter who were taking it apart.
Yeah. I mean. Oh, okay. I thought
Yeah.
I thought they moved it. I didn't know. That
They started
broke it down.
disassembling it because they don't need it and there's not really anywhere to put it.
Yeah.
They can reuse the wood, probably
Yeah.
some of it.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Can I tell if I go to the bank and go to the meeting thing?
Yeah.
By then, things will be over, or will they still be doing this?
They might have a couple. They might. I think by that time, Mallory would probably be done with helping the people like at the shops. At that point, probably
Okay.
move on to finishing up the last, like carrying the last bits of the stage out.
Okay, then in that case, I think I would stay and help.
Yeah. It would depend on how long everything else took, but you will probably be able to like catch them finishing up the moving the stage pieces and getting rid of things that like the nails and stuff that aren't going to be reused. So, yeah.
So I guess we're spending the next couple of hours cleaning up.
Yeah, you can help clean up for a little bit and then.
I mean, you've got your plans.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can.
Yes,
go
but
about-
I'm hoping I can like guilt trip someone to like get me paid for helping out.
Yeah, what I was assuming you were gonna go do is you were gonna go do your stuff and then join them at the end of like the day.
Yeah, but
to help them like carry 2 planks of wood and be like, I've helped. Eventually, I had just had some other business I had to do first.
Yeah, but if I'm going to like be late by that point, I'd rather.
You could also help before.
Yeah.
But the question is, will you actually be
Just a
helping or
little
will
bit.
you be supervising?
I'll do the bare minimum required to count as actually helping.
Yeah.
Because I want to get money out of this.
You
somehow.
can, yeah, you can help Mallory. You can help the people that like have to like get the wood from their stands and stuff out of there. So you help her like carry some of that. But Mallory probably is more help with that anyway because she's stronger.
Yeah.
So if she's carrying like a bunch of wood and you've got like 2 planks. You're like,
I'm helping.
I'm helping.
I'm just picturing Zarya from Overwatch right now going, I can bench more than you.
But yeah, so you can help with that for a little bit before doing whatever else. And that would also probably get you at the carpenters because people are taking stuff to him.
Okay.
So you can help carry some stuff over there and then just
Works
go
out.
from there.
Cool.
So you help with that. And you're bringing like unused wood or wood that smaller pieces that can be reused, and the 2 of you bring them to the carpenter shop, and he's in there.
Still working his head.
Yeah, he's still got a lot of work. He's got to work. He's got to do the stage, and he's going through all of this stuff that people are bringing him, and he's got
all that furniture.
a bunch of furniture that he's making. So he looks
He looks like I just need an assistant.
he's
Like,
says if you were to ask him, he'd say he's fine, but he's
Not fine.
like he's clearly
he's looks like he
You say
hasn't
you're fine, but you're not
he's-
fine.
looks like he hasn't slept a lot over the last couple days. Like, yeah, he's not just relaxing at the counter like he was the first time he went. Just
Tell-
literally.
Tell me if I need a like a performance role, but Curtis would like to like put on a show that like I've been working so hard and like very theatrically like swiping the sweat off of his forehead and all of that.
Yeah.
Boy, it's really hot out there, isn't it? Me and my
Yeah.
friend Mallory have been out there all day just helping get all this wood here.
Yeah, roll performance.
12 plus
A lot.
3, so 15.
Yeah, he believes you.
Okay.
He
Technically not
he
a
buys
lie.
it. He buys it. He's
Okay.
like he's only like kind of half paying attention, so like you just come in and start saying, I'm really tired, we've been working all day. It's like, oh yeah.
Water over there.
What time of the day is it at this point?
It's like 10 or 11, like probably
Okay.
like around 11. So it's pretty hot. It actually is pretty hot. He's not sweating or anything. It's just like yeah, I guess it would be. You would think it's hot, huh?
You would think it's fine.
Reminder: he's a tiefling, so he's resistant to fire. So he's like, it's fine. I don't know what you're gonna. I guess it is hot, huh?
Yeah.
Once winter hits, he's gonna be miserable, and you
Unless
know
he's
this.
got that
Yeah.
beams, which makes him resist the cold too.
Yeah, he's a. Yeah.
No, he just like sets his house on fire and just sleeps in the fire.
So you,
I mean, he still has to keep his stuff. So
Yeah.
He can't set it.
he's a carpenter. He can rebuild everything.
I mean, he has a troll flame.
But yeah.
He'll go sleep in the stove. It'll be fine. Yeah. So can I like get him to like, like a few silver pieces or something would really go a long way. I can like buy a drink.
He
What?
kind of
He's like,
stops what he's doing and looks at you and like,
I do the same.
are you really begging for money right now?
are you really? Did you pick up all your stuff from him?
No.
No. Okay.
Is that what
He-
you were coming here for?
He looks a little
Kind of.
concerned. He's like, are you really that short on money? Because I do have
Work
to
you
work
could
for
do.
money. I can't just.
Like, you can actually.
Did you
help
pay?
me.
You didn't pay? Did you pay for everything that you got from him? Actually,
No, but he hasn't. Like I paid for everything I got,
yeah,
but I had commissioned something that isn't finished yet.
yeah. He looks concerned whenever you start asking for money, and it's clear because you have commissioned something from him, and he's probably started on it, and doesn't now he's not getting paid. So he's like,
You know I've got a piece for you. You gotta work for it.
if
if you don't have
you're
it.
hurting for money, I mean, you work for the sheriff's
What?
office, right?
I will attempt to act offended. Like, of course I'm not hurting for money.
Yeah, you just asked me for silver.
Yeah, I thought
You-
as a token of your friendship you can buy us a drink. Well, never mind then.
Well, I
Hey,
could buy
you look really, really busy. Do you need some help?
Yeah, I need some of this stuff moved.
Hey, Curtis, help me carry this.
Let's go.
So you help them move some of the stuff people have dropped off to a
So
storage
this is
area.
just avoid that
Yeah.
And
faux pas.
to avoid the faux pas and to make Curtis do heavy lifting.
Yeah, he's
Make it out for
pretty-
this roll, Curtis.
Yeah, he's pretty strong, and Mallory's pretty strong, so he's assuming you're as good at lifting both of them. But he just keeps handing you things.
So
So
athletic check, come on.
definitely.
How well do you do? Oh, I'm not doing too good either.
I got a 6.
I got an 8.
Well, yeah, so you're both kind of struggling as he's like carrying things, and he looks back and he's
And he's like,
kind of like,
I'm like,
is
no,
he getting
stand
to
on
you?
that side.
Is he getting to you? Okay, and he like takes the stuff. He leads you to the shed with that load of stuff, and he says, I mean, if you really need a drink, I can get you one.
That would be most
he-
appreciated.
he
Yes.
Yeah, he takes off. To
I
go
will
get you something.
attempt to finish moving the thing myself. I get an 18.
Yeah, you keep moving, and you keep moving stuff for him. He no problem. You don't know what probably just like picked it up wrong, so was slipping.
Well,
so
it
you're
was
like, oh
like,
god,
he was
yeah.
throwing me off,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
he's
I
like
was holding
steering it
onto it.
wrong, and
You were
I'm
dragging
like,
me.
"Ah!"
Yeah, so you just move whatever you're moving, no problem. And
Yes.
once Curtis is going, once Curtis stops helping, you're good. Yeah, he comes back with some water for both of you. He offers it to you.
Oh, thank you.
Uh, did you have anything else we're going to hear, or just?
Question. So if he went to get water, does that mean he didn't see Mallory do all the heavy lifting?
No. But Valerie is standing next to you and stronger than you. And two very important facts. I think Curtis would remember.
Performance. To make it look like I've been doing as much as Mallory.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sure.
Oh god. 16 plus like 6 or
I
something?
think so.
No, plus 3, so...
So
18.
it looks like you put in the effort.
Yeah.
Because you're like,
Yeah. Yeah, and you look like you definitely do look like you put in a lot of effort.
As you're
Which is probably real, but
as you're putting on your show,
I think
I
at some point
clap
during
my
study,
hand over your shoulder from behind and I just squeeze kind of hard.
I think at some point during my study, I take a break and actually go.
you can you go into town, especially if you were going to find the talk with, well, I don't know. School's probably in session. You can. You're not gonna probably pop in like while the teacher's teaching, but you may like.
Like, I'm assuming there's some sort of, you can just observe. Or is it
Yeah,
too fancy?
The teacher will let you do that because she she knows you're an actual professor, so she knows you're like an education person, so she'll let you in and kind of introduce you, and then a lot of the children look like awestruck because they're young children. They're like,
Yeah.
wow, that's really cool. You're from so far away and you're so smart. Like,
And then I think I take like a little bit of time just to show off a little bit of my magic.
yeah,
So I'd probably just
she'll let you do it. The kids are actually pretty awestruck because
do
they're
some
like,
sort of subtle thing where they're like, wait, did the ice change color?
yeah, like,
Because like I motion
well,
a little bit of my breath.
Most of them are probably awestruck, and then you have that one kid with no tact who's like, you're really old.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
several.
Ugh.
I think I gave you the breakdown in class before, but a lot of them are like dwarven children.
Dwarven children?
A lot of, because there's a lot of dwarves around town because a lot of them are minors, so they're not in the town all the time, but like their kids are here. You see the half drow child is there
Yeah.
because naturally he has to
So
learn something.
I
He's
think
there though.
I straight up actually changed the color of my eyes from green to like neon pink.
Yeah.
And then it changes back really quick.
They're all super enthused by it. Even the older kids are like pretty into it. They're not moody teenagers or anything. They're still like 10, but
They're like 10.
like,
And then
yeah.
there's that one farmer boy who's still like, who can actually cast magic.
well, no, they're magic. There's a lot of magic people in
Yeah.
town, so they're not like, it's not like they've never seen spells before, but they're young enough that it's still really exciting.
Yeah.
Like they probably don't have parents that cast spells all the time, so they're like, whoa.
Oh, I've
so
never heard of that spell.
I don't know, you can do that spell. And they start like requesting spells. It kind of like gets off topic,
Yeah.
but
I'm
yeah.
assuming that she knew it would get off topic.
Yeah,
because this was a time
she's
where
okay. She's
they
okay with
actually
it.
needed that. So I think I go ahead and I entertain them for a little bit.
They're
But-
yeah.
And then near the end, I go ahead and I actually cast Create Water to make enough water for the class.
They all seem kind of amazed by it because I think only clerics can do that, right?
Yeah.
Maybe druid. Well, even if it was druid, it would still be. Yeah, they're all pretty excited. They haven't seen this before, and they're very enthusiastic in the way like it's small children are.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then they start they start like acting like they're gonna try to cast spells and like saying words that like sound magically and like, ha! I made your hair blue. Like, do things like that.
But
So yeah,
yeah.
that's.
But then I actually helped the teacher get them back on track. And
Boat.
just
Dude, welcome. Glad you're here, man.
So, yeah. So yeah, you do that. You spend the afternoon, I guess, with at the school. So, were you doing anything else, or just continuing to trick the carpenter into giving you things?
After I'm pretty sure I'm not getting anything on this.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave.
Yeah, he promises like he'll get back to work on the commission work probably the next day, but he just had to. Yeah, he has had a lot going on around here.
Is there any other miscellaneous stuff you need handled in the next few days? Or any simple projects that I can do for you?
He thinks about it and says, "We'll come back tomorrow. I'll let you know."
All right.
Oh, sorry, we have to go out of town tomorrow.
Or come back, yeah, just come back whenever, and I can help.
Okay.
He would know for sure tomorrow, but yeah. Right now he's kind of just like, I need to get all this stuff moved so I get it. Everything's piling up, like,
Yeah.
he seems kind of like frazzled, like he needs to get all this stuff moved and put away so he can get back to work.
So, and that's what we just did for him?
Yeah, he needs help with the stage, but if you help him, he'll be done with that by the evening.
Yeah, I think that stage is just a simple athletics move it in.
Yeah,
and
at
then
this point, well, he's
take off the
breaking
nails.
it down and then moving it because he doesn't want to like pick up the whole stage and carry it because he can't like get it between buildings and stuff like that. So he's breaking it apart and taking the pieces back. So it's taking a little while. But if you're helping him, like he breaks it down, you take the pieces, it would go faster.
I will probably come back and help him later today.
Yeah. 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 If you help him, then he can get that done and he'll be freed from at least this.
Okay. Yeah.
Back to Lookout. So Curtis doesn't stick around, I assume, much longer. Not that he's acting like he did the most manual labor.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, I'm just look at me. I'm all sweaty. And, oh my
So
god.
you have the bank you're going to next?
Yes.
Okay.
Is Mallory coming with me?
For now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Where are your cups?
Right behind you.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to hope that I don't.
There should be a stack of paper.
I'm after the last encounter I've had with the bank manager. I hope that like I don't immediately get thrown out. I'd like to.
No.
For the first time ever, Curtis would like to keep a low profile. Just
Oh, wow.
quietly go in the
Yeah,
building.
no, you don't.
Stand in line.
There's probably not a line. There may be like one person there
Okay.
exchanging some like copper for silver or something like that. Yeah. The teller recognizes you, but she doesn't like do anything, but she does look at you when you come in.
Yeah, the teller is okay because if I remember correctly, I didn't botch anything up with her.
No. Yeah, no.
But
She
You just
Something's
walked
gone
up to the
wrong.
wrong door for the manager's office.
It was probably just something that
she
happened.
was probably warned, but not like. I mean, you didn't come in here. You didn't kick the door open and have a gun, so like you're not robbing.
Not yet.
You just
Yeah,
said
visibly
ominous
cre-
things.
Yeah, you just heavily implied to the manager you're gonna rob the place. So she's.
I mean, that's his interpretation. I'm not
She-
gonna.
yeah.
And then you come in here again with a very strong looking woman at your side.
Yeah, she like looks at you. She kind of has her eye on you, but she's helping the person.
Yeah.
And she
You don't see your hand reaching underneath the desk just yet.
she exchanges the money for the person, and then it was clearly just like I have 100 copper and I don't need to be carrying around 100 copper. Please exchange it. So like it's pretty quick, and they leave, and she looks at you. What can I help you with?
Good news! I'm here to bring my business to this fine establishment.
Uh-huh.
I would like to put 5 gold pieces down on the counter thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, how does one open an account in this fine establishment?
She'll take the money. Well, she doesn't take the money, but she will help you. She'll like take down all the information that she needs.
Paperwork.
Yeah, get paperwork stuff done.
Jaggery.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm bored. I leave.
Yeah. So,
I
Before
walk-
you leave, I'm like, are you sure you don't want to put money in the bank?
Eh. Maybe later.
yeah. So yeah.
And I
you-
walk away.
No. I can still carry things in my pocket. I don't have to
It
stash
takes.
I'm just citing the critical role name.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, she helps you with all the paperwork and stuff. She does it herself. She doesn't get the manager or anything to come do
Good.
anything.
So far, so good.
But she takes down like your name and all that, and records how much you deposited.
You give your name as Curtis the Magnificent.
Obviously.
All right, Curtis the Magnificent.
I'm sorry, we need your legal name.
Oh, that could be a legal name. There's some people weird names.
Knowing Curtis, it probably is.
He legally changed it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
Legally changed his last
Yep.
name to the Magnificent. So yeah, so you get that all settled.
Well, now that I've done everything else, and as a bonus, lost Mallory, I'm gonna go to the mayor's house.
All right.
Can I attempt to make sure, like,
Make sure you're not being followed.
I was gonna say,
If
like,
you-
make sure I'm not being noticed, but I don't think Curtis physically is unable to not be noticed.
What kind of it's pretty incredible if you're a rogue that can't spell.
I have the stats for it, but I don't want to.
You don't want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not
yeah,
that kind of
like,
rogue,
that would be
okay?
kind of amazing.
I have my disguise
that's a
kit
swashbuckler,
if I want
sure.
to.
Yeah. You see, that's like a swashbuckler.
Yeah.
You do the opposite of kind of that. Yeah, is that where you had arranged to meet him? Was like just at the house, or like in front of the house,
Yeah.
or outside the?
Yeah.
He probably would have told you like outside the gate.
Okay.
So, yeah, you approach, and you wait outside the gate for a minute, and you see him come out of the house and meet up with you. Yeah, the guard does look at you, but the one that's still there, but
I'd like to like look at them back and actively try to engage in conversation with them.
yeah,
Like, how are you doing today? What's your name again?
it kind of like freezes.
Exactly.
And doesn't know what to say, but he wasn't going to even acknowledge, like, he looks at you but wasn't like gonna say anything, and now you stepped in again,
Yeah.
like, can I help you?
Yes, my name is Curtis. What was your name again, good sir?
I need this name generator, I guess. 'Cause I didn't name this one. Yeah, he tells you his name.
See,
which
he
I'm
was trying to
pulling
make
up.
me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yes, he's uncomfortable.
Yesterday, Jay's like, aha, I've named every possible NPC that they can ask about.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, I'm getting the generator. Where's the real name?
Randall.
Randall was to me.
Where is it? This one. It says one of the names I brought up was Cyril. I was like, that's already someone. Thanks for that suggestion. He says, Nathaniel?
Okay.
Daniel.
Yeah.
You see, I have an appointment with one of the masters of the house.
They're not here.
I believe if you take it upon yourself to have a second inspection, you will find one of them is indeed here.
Are you acting
mean-
like even weirder than
Yeah.
usual?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, the main two are at the. Why do you need to talk to Why do you talk to Ellie?
Well-
See,
I believe it would be impolite for me to discuss matters I have with the master of the house. But I'm sure if they deem necessary, they will most certainly inform you about it.
he
I assure you.
kind of squints a little bit.
Just like, I don't know if I should trust you now, cause you're.
What?
Creepy as hell.
What exactly is the nature of your business with him?
Good sir.
Diplomacy.
Diplomacy.
Meanwhile, I have gone back to the carpenter and I'm helping him with the statue.
All right, yeah, he gladly takes the help, and you two have started disassembling the stage. He started disassembling the stage, and
You really don't have to cut to me. I was
Yeah.
just.
yeah,
letting you
he's
know
moving.
that-
No, let him sit on that. He's moving the pieces over, and you're taking them back to the shed that you had been shown before. Yeah,
Okay.
and yeah, there's nothing really going on.
Yeah,
It's weird, just that.
No rolling for that.
I
Okay,
guess
we get.
theoretically, you could see the mayor in his office, but he's just working. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, you.
So when we cut back, it's been like 5 minutes, and I'm still like just keep talking to this guy, and I'm hoping that
He's kind of scooting, like he's kind of taking a few
Towards
steps
the
back,
and I like
like
take
towards
it back
the
on.
door.
yeah.
I was not informed by anyone that you
Well,
were.
I'm certain
coming
if you
by.
talk to the master of the house at this very, very moment, he will certainly inform you that I have been invited.
I believe this
Yeah,
is the
okay,
part
I-
where Cyril comes out and is like, oh my
Cyril,
God.
no, Cyril's at his office, and so is Leo. The two that would probably say something are at the office.
Sorry, who's the other person?
The third one is Ellie, who's the one he's actually meeting with, and
Yeah.
said he can come over, but he's kind of
Where is-
inching backwards, trying to get away from him to like move and yeah.
See, assert dominance.
I'm noticing a correlation here.
What happened?
You were fairly tame for tonight
Yeah.
until Boat showed up.
It's your fault, Bo!
Yeah.
You did this to me! I was an outstanding citizen!
So yeah, he
He just goes, hey.
kind of like, all right, you wait here, and I'll get him for you.
Excellent idea, my man!
All right, and he goes inside to go get Ellie for you. And you're just left outside for a minute by yourself. The other guard, you assume, is at the mayor's office with him because he seems to be more of a personal guard, what you can guess, because he tends to follow him around. The other, when you open the door, you see the person who was the cook, like walking around. So you assume they're kind of like they just overall tend to the house. You don't see the lion immediately, so you assume it's kind of off to the side or like sleeping on the couch or whatever. And after a minute, both Nathaniel and Ellie come back out, and Nathaniel still is like doesn't understand what's going on because Ellie actually came out and willingly to talk
Willingly.
to you. Which is
Keyword.
weird. Yeah.
I think Nathaniel at this point is like, sir,
Yeah, he
don't go to another location with this man.
yeah, he looks at Ellie and goes,
Sure.
you were expecting him?
And like, as soon as I see Ellie, I want to like step forward with like hands in front of me, like straight stretched out. Ah, good to see you again!
He takes your hand and shakes it.
Shall we go inside and
No.
talk in private?
Now, when they first came outside, did Ellie look like irritated? Or?
He looks like he also kind of doesn't really know what's going on. Like he knew this was happening, but he's kind of like
But he doesn't expect.
he didn't expect this.
No one ever expects
Yeah.
this when it comes to Curtis.
No, no one ever expects Curtis. So he
You are the Spanish Inquisition.
yeah.
Is one of your outfits just A red robe with the hat.
Yeah.
He just kind of like holds up a hand. Nathaniel says, "Yeah, it's fine. It's fine," and takes you inside.
There we go. See? Nice. Welcome.
Yeah. You go in. The person that you saw the night before, like the cook, whatever is going, cook or yeah, just kind of a general, like the general housekeeper, is going into one of the other rooms to probably.
If I see them, I would like to also kind of do the same thing and like be like, I see you, and like, oh, is that the cook I see? We had the pleasure of tasting your work last night.
So much for low profile.
Yeah.
I'm already in the house, so I've done my
She
thing.
nods
So every one of
and
the
keeps.
Americans is gonna be like,
Yeah,
why is
she.
this person their deputy?
Yeah, she nods and then just keeps going.
Curtis asks himself that every day too.
She keeps going into the room, and Ellie takes you to sort of a sitting room. It's upstairs and directly in the door, right in the middle, and it's just an open room. There's a couple couches. There's large windows on the back that lead out to a small balcony. And
Everybody can see onto the balcony if they need to.
yeah, yeah, he leads
I
you.
don't think Curtis looks that threatening.
Yeah,
I imagine him as a pretty
everybody's
skinny
like-
guy. And like,
Yeah, they let you in.
yeah.
And so they trust that either you're not gonna hurt Ellie or like Ellie will be fine alone with you.
We have a
they
lion. I
Yeah,
mean, come
they
on.
trust Ellie will be it's fine alone with you. As you walk through the room, yeah, the lion is still like it's on the couch. It has clearly moved since then because it doesn't have meat on its paws anymore. But it just seems to be his favorite spot to sit.
As I walk by, I say, "Hey, it's a vegan kitty. Hi." And I just walk back.
Vegan
And Ellie,
kitty.
he doesn't eat. It's not. It's not a real lion, right?
For the most part.
All right. It's just the skin of it isn't really a lion. The inside part is.
I must congratulate you on the fine staff you have out here. That guard of yours kept me outside for about an hour before he was convinced to actually talk to you.
Yeah. I mean, that's.
It is
their
extremely
job.
difficult to come up with good help these days.
Yeah. We brought them with us. He sits down on one of the couches, but he sits kind of like in the middle and is expecting you to sit across from him.
Okay.
Yeah, like just kind of like sits, and he sits kind of cross. He sits like this, like he sits cross-legged in the middle of the couch, like.
Is mine a couch too, or is it like a chair? Or?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like they're like love seats.
Well, I've heard that imitation is the best form of flattery, so I will sit in the same way.
Yeah, he doesn't say anything. I
Okay.
mean, you're making yourself. It's really informal, but yeah, he's kind of like. So, what do you want to talk about?
Well, you see, the first time we met, you seemed very knowledgeable about the Hulk of Umber, and
Yeah.
and I will keep referring to it that way. Well, I had the feeling that you would be more knowledgeable about certain matters, and therefore it would be best if you had access to the full amount of information that I have.
What information?
Well, you see, last night, out of everybody else who was at the table, you took the vague but ominous news that we brought somewhat more seriously than others.
Which news?
The prophecy and religious groups coming here and possible complications.
Dragonborn.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, the prophecy and stuff was upsetting and everything. The fact that bad things are gonna happen here is pretty upsetting. Honestly, fact that it's dragon form really stood out to me. I don't know why. Well, I know why, but
Have you ever been to the place known as the compound?
no, I haven't been out there.
Well then, good news! I have been there and I am here to report. And I basically,
Say the exact same things you said last night.
Yeah.
yeah.
He looks a little bit alarmed. It's just, that's really,
Big.
that's not good. I don't know what it could be about, but why are you telling me?
Because you seem like the person who was most interested in the topic, and also the person who had the most knowledge about magical events and beasts.
Well,
And your family seems to have a reasonable collection of reading material here.
yeah. I don't really know about that kind of magic. That's a different kind than what I know about.
Well, as a deputy of the most serene city of Clear Ridge,
Uh-huh.
I felt an obligation to your family, and I felt like someone in your family needed to have this information, and you were the best candidate I could think of. Anyhow, I feel like I have done my duty, and hope that you would honor me with your cooperation if you were to come upon anything useful.
Yeah, I can do. I'll do my best. I honestly, I'm not really the one to go to about that, but I can look. I'm not sure if we have anything about prophecy and stuff. That seems more like religious, though I guess. No, I guess I am the person who would do that. Yeah, that actually,
Oh, wait, that is
it's
me.
actually a weird comment. Like,
oh,
it is
wait.
actually as weird as it sounds that he says that. But
He's like, wait,
like, oh
doesn't
yeah.
that clerk in the herbalism shop actually know a thing or two about this?
No, he
No,
is the cleric.
He says he's not the cleric from the herbalism shop. They're visibly different. But it says he does this kind of stop himself. Says, well, I mean, how do you not ask me? Just because
Well,
I
you
know
see, it might not seem so at first, but I have a gift with people, you see.
Uh-huh.
And the same way I knew I needed to speak to Mayroon in the compound, I knew I needed to speak to you as well. I'm a good judge of character.
Yeah. Is that really all? Is that really like the only reason? It's like just. Or
Well,
did you have? Are you like withholding any information?
as a player, I was, the thing that kind of tipped me off was, I suspect that this person is, like, magically important somehow, because out of all the people we saw, first of all, maybe I'm just reading too much into what he said, but first of all, he seemed more interested in what we were saying, and also, back when we were dealing with the Umber Hulk, he was the first one to actually recognize it.
Yeah.
So all of these things kind of make me think, like, this guy's gonna be important. And
He
I wanna
also
be
knew
close
what.
to him.
He also knew what you were doing whenever you cast Mage Hand. He knew. He was the only one who saw you doing something, but he clearly knew what you were doing. Yeah. He kind of looks at you for a minute and thinks about. I can help. But in whatever way.
Good sir, you have made my day.
Yeah. What do you want me to do?
Well,
Today.
given that you are a gentleman of most I'm blank. Of highest intellect, I would like you to essentially have an eye on the matter and perhaps browse your library and talk to certain friends you have.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. I don't have a lot of friends in town, but I can look around. I can look in the library and things like that.
That would be most wonderful. Most wonderful. You have no idea.
All right. I mean, I could take you down there. It's not a huge library, but I can look. I can look through our books. We also have. I mean, we probably have access to the books at the arcade shop if it's something.
As tempted as I am to follow you up on that,
I'm not the book learning type.
that's what Curtis thinks, but that's not what he said. I believe I've already caused a ruckus as it is. I don't want the guards
Don't
to
say.
I don't want the guards to see me enter the library with you alone and close the door behind us. That would certainly give the wrong message.
I mean.
Especially to your
Yeah.
brother. Anyhow.
Yeah. Yeah.
What? You just threw that
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
there.
It's your brother.
Like, wait, what?
What?
How is the
What?
quality, by the way, Boat and other viewers? Because I'm getting a lot of dropped frame notifications, so I'm not sure if there's any kind of a problem. So
Yeah.
let me know, please, how it is.
Is this a Twitch issue maybe? Because the other stream I was having this issue too with a lot of drop frames, but they also had their internet was like not great. I don't know.
I have Spectrum, but I don't have any other choice.
Oh,
So.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have Spectrum, I understand. We have one of the players in my other group has Spectrum, so he was out of the game for a week and a half.
They were
so, you know.
they were awful last year, but to be fair, they've been pretty good this year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, my internet usually
knock
goes,
on wood.
my internet usually goes out in the morning, but it'll be like 8 a.m. So what do I need the internet for at 8 a.m.? I'm going
Yeah.
back to sleep. But yeah.
I wish I could be asleep at 8 a.m.
But yeah, he just.
But yeah, I trust that you will do a most thorough job in your investigation and
Yeah,
let me and my companions know of the result.
prophecies and stuff like that. Yeah, I'll look into it.
Since I'm already here and I've taken so much of your time.
I remember what I was gonna say.
Oh, okay.
Why are you asking my brother? What about my brother?
Oh, he knows what's up. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
It's nothing to worry about. Anywho, while I'm here and I've already taken so much of your time, perhaps you could indulge me slightly further and talk to me about this gentleman known as the Baron.
The Baron.
Oh.
Yeah. He lives in the
House of Merriment.
Yeah, I think that's where he lives. That's usually where he is. I'm pretty sure he lives there.
He does.
I think he's from the same town as us, but I'm not entirely sure. I've never met him. I've heard of him. I've heard my dad and my brother talking about it. I'm not involved in a lot of stuff that they do, because, I mean, they're older than me, this thing kind of.
They may be older and they may be in charge, but you are certainly smarter.
I mean,
Don't be disheartened. Anywho,
my brother built a life. I guess he's smart in some ways, but he's not smart in other ways.
tell me about it. I digress. I digress.
Wow.
He's not smart in the ways of fashion. But yeah. Yeah. I don't know. They don't. Whenever they talk about it, it's pretty secretive. They know more about it, him, than I do, but he's allowed to stay here. But I feel like if it was anyone else, they wouldn't let him. They wouldn't want him here.
Yes.
I don't really know why.
Well, the reason I bring him up is that as part of my endeavors to further facilitate the construction of trust between us,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to inform you that the one and only time we had the possibly misfortune of meeting this Baron. He claimed that at some point our gracious mayor owed him a favor.
Yeah. Yeah, Dad
So you knew about
knows.
that.
Yeah,
Wonderful. Could you
Dad-
perhaps enlighten me, please?
I mean, Dad knows he owes him, but whenever he wants a favor, he just he shows up and he talks to my dad, and then Dad usually doesn't seem pretty pleased about it, but whatever it is, he just does it. It's really complicated. I don't know if I can tell you everything. It's not you. I don't think I can tell anybody everything.
Outside of character, would you guys be okay if I tell him that the Baron currently thinks the mayor owes him as well? If you guys remember, Baron said we're gonna owe him, and I persuaded him that
The mayor, even though the mayor.
it's not. We don't need this. The mayor needs this, so
Yeah.
it transfers to him.
This is the part
Well-
where I'd say it's gonna be a story choice ultimately. 'Cause
Yeah, it's up to you. I mean, they're not there, but
Yeah, but I don't want to do
Yeah.
something that is gonna ruin the game for them.
I don't know if it has the potential to ruin the
Okay.
game for us.
Yeah.
I mean, one, I don't know how important this Baron
Yeah.
character is actually going to be. Probably pretty important,
Yeah.
but you did kind of sow that seed at the very beginning.
yeah.
And I just think it would not be fitting for Curtis to not follow up on
Yeah.
his own bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay, then I will bring it up.
That you.
Yeah.
Mayor
it's-
currently
Is it the squirrely Curtis thing to do?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. He kind of stops and looks at the table for a second and says, I think he already knows.
Interesting.
He hasn't collected, but he likes to let my dad know when he owes him.
I kind of had a feeling that was gonna be the case.
I don't really know exactly how they met or what's going on, but he mostly just shows up when Dad owes him, and when he's here to collect. It's not usually anything bad. I mean, sometimes it's just money, or when he showed up here, he told Dad not to make him leave, and he hasn't. We can't go back on that.
I had a question about this Baron.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps it's because I come from a different land, but where I come from, when someone has this kind of influence, at least part of it is because they are able to bring consequences to those who don't follow up their favors.
I don't know if he's threatened them outright, but I think they're pretty secretive about it. They don't even tell me everything. I don't even think Dad tells Leo everything. He usually does, but it's more of I don't think he'd do anything. I just think he doesn't want people normally to know that they do dealings with each other. It seems kind of sketchy. I don't think he.
So he's never hurt anyone?
No, not as far as I know.
As
He
far as he
hasn't
knows.
hurt us. So I don't know. He doesn't hurt people. I think he's just more willing to let people know that it's more of. It's not a physical hurt. It's more of a social hurt. He'll let everybody know that they got shady stuff.
That's fortunate, for I happen to be immune to that.
Everyone knows that you're
Yeah.
shady.
Obviously. No, well, I mean that's how it is. But in Curtis's mind, it's like no one's gonna believe I'm shady. Obviously. Yeah,
Oh,
Kurt-
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautifully done.
I'm gonna get up and be like, well, I hope the next time we meet, it will be under much more pleasant circumstances, and your guard keep me outside less than an hour, preferably.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we were gonna meet outside the house. I guess I misunderstood. It's fine. I'll tell him to just let you in whenever you come by, if I'm here.
Very well, thank you. And I would do the unnecessarily extravagant bow and leave.
I mean, obviously, it's
Right.
when
I think one time we need to see this bow
Yeah.
in person,
it's
on screen.
yeah. I mean, they probably won't let you
Not
in.
today.
They won't let you in if my brother's here. Probably. Why? I don't know.
You know him. It's
He
what do you
doesn't.
expect? Anyway.
He's pretty uptight. Yeah. All right.
And I say goodbye in Elven to see if I get any response.
Yeah, I mean, he's not surprised. You're also half elf, and he nods and says goodbye back. He says it a little bit differently. His accent's a little bit different. It's not the same as the Drow, but his accent is a little bit different. It's kind of, it's a little.
But it's a thing where it's like, it's accents, you can't really tell.
It's an
unless you
accent.
know.
Because I assume you know Elven pretty well. It's not one you've heard. But he shows you out. Make a perception check.
Have like a +1? No, +3.
Yeah. You just kind of glimpse as he goes to open the door. He kind of like scratches his neck, and you see there's something on his neck, and you don't see what it is, but you see there's something there, and he opens the door for you. Like,
Do your mark on
yeah, do you remark on it, or is that just another like piece of information about it that you're gonna take?
Let me know if I need a roll for what I intend. Before I actually leave the house, since I've noticed it, do I need a roll to be able to later recreate an approximate version of the mark for someone?
You only kind of glimpsed it. It looked like there's something. It's like on the like first spine, so it's just like his collar moved slightly, so you barely saw it. It looks like it's just different colored skin. It's like a red. It's like a bright red, which is kind of pretty, very unusual.
So is it like a birthmark or like a pattern?
No,
It's a pattern.
It's bright red. It's probably a tattoo of some sort.
It's something you can't quite see it. It's under his shirt, but it's like on his spine under his shirt. It just when he scratched his neck, scratched at it. You saw it for a second.
But it's got the same texture as the skin, right?
Yeah, it's a little different, but yeah.
Because if it's a dragon sword, I think it would be actual scales.
It's kind of it's skin. It's just a little bit of a different texture. It's weird, kind of weird looking.
What you gonna do about it?
Yeah, are you gonna say anything about it, or are you just gonna leave?
Like, for a few seconds, I thought about possible ways to get his shirt off somehow. But I feel like that's too much, even for Curtis. So I'm not
Curtis
gonna...
has limits.
Yeah,
Wow, that's shocking.
exactly. Yeah, I don't think I can really get a
You
better
can
look at it.
try, but I don't know.
Okay.
How can I get his shirt off? Curtis, 2018.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can try whatever. I don't know if it would work.
Okay.
I don't know what you're going to try, so I don't know if it would
Okay.
work.
I think I found something that isn't that creepy. It's still creepy, but he's seeing me out the door and saying goodbye, right?
Yeah. He sees you to the door and he opens
Can
it
I
to you.
offer a hug?
He,
Hope to see you again, brother. In Elven. Half Elven. Yeah, Elven, yeah.
yeah, he,
Persuasion?
yeah, persuasion.
Performance? Persuasion? One of them?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Natural one.
Yeah,
This is
exactly.
getting clipped. Curtis being creepy.
He kind of like flinches a little bit.
Okay, never mind. See you later.
Yeah. Bye. As you leave, he shuts the door behind you.
Locks the doors.
He's like,
He
I said that
he-
tell
he
the guards
kind
to
of-
let him in.
he looks
I
out,
changed my mind.
he makes eye contact with Nathaniel and just kind of shuts the door. And you're seen out of the gates.
I tried.
Oh my god.
All right.
Sometimes a natural one is the best thing
Yeah.
that can happen. That
Yeah.
was great.
So yeah, that's how that goes. All right. So are you doing anything else, or are you just going home, or are you gonna go home, or are you gonna help go back to? You probably have to go to the square, so you meet Ron and Mallory again, and maybe Arturo if this would be.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the square, and if Mallory is busy, I'm just gonna walk around and go over what just happened. It's a lot even for Curtis to process. But eventually I'll meet up with Mallory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Am
Yeah.
Am I still?
Yeah, you're helping. I mean, after like once everything's disassembled, and he will, and it doesn't take a horribly long time to do. He's helping you carry stuff, so it's you're both carrying things back and forth. So you get it done. It doesn't take that long, but he seems the carpenter seems really pretty relieved that you helped him out. He gets back to his shop, and he lets you know if there's any work or anything that he needs help with. He'll let you know because you asked about that.
Okay.
After that, you can leave, and you'll see Curtis walking around, thinking really hard.
For the first time
Yeah.
that you've seen
Visibly
probably.
thinking really
Yeah.
hard, which is weird.
My brain hurts.
I walk up and I do the same exaggerated.
You're getting better
Are
at
you doing that mockingly?
Yes.
You're
I'm
getting
doing that
better at
mockingly
that.
towards
Yeah.
him the same way that he did it earlier.
Well, I didn't do it mockingly. I did it deceptively.
Yeah.
But I'll take
No,
that.
I'm doing it
yeah.
mockingly.
I'll probably try to like do mental gymnastics and interpret that as you're trying to learn from me.
Yeah.
You're getting better. Keep working on it, kid.
I've been busting my ass. What the hell have you been doing?
I could say something very similar to that.
Have you been at the damn house of merriment this whole time?
I don't believe it's in my interest to confirm or deny that.
You son of a bitch.
Come on, let's go home. And I attempt to put my hand around your neck.
This time I resist.
Okay.
I'm like, I am not touching that.
Yeah.
Whoa, okay, you're the sweaty one. Do you want to get a drink or do you want to go straight to Arturo?
A drink.
Let's go.
Definitely a drink.
Yeah. And Arturo will see you walking by.
Hell, you're probably
Because you
getting
have-
dehydrated
What kind of
just
role was
walking
it to
around
actually
here.
like take notes of these students while they're?
You can just like, I mean, if you're actually writing them down, you can just write them down.
Yeah.
If you're just taking mental notes, you don't need to roll anything right now.
I'm-
You do intelligence later and sort of
Yeah.
recall it.
I'm writing them down.
Yeah, you can.
And then I'm trying to like also create a pattern with what I've observed.
You don't learn a lot because a lot of the kids that are in this class they're still pretty young. Like they're still probably too young to. They all want to know about magic, but they're also like 5 and 6 year olds that just saw you do magic, so they want to know because they think it's really cool. You don't know if they're still going to be this interested tomorrow,
Right.
but
Some of the older kids.
the older kids,
I'm assuming they moved on from that after.
yeah, they went back to their they just went back to whatever they were being taught and their reading and stuff. They
So
yeah.
Some of those things are, I'm assuming I have to like observe for a week. before
Yeah,
I
you would
can
have
get
to. Yeah.
back. Okay.
The younger kids are probably gonna like after a class is over and they're like free to do whatever, they're gonna like ask you to do magic again.
Yeah.
Like do the trick with your eyes again. Can you do it to me? Things like that. But the
Yeah.
teacher is like ushering them.
Yeah.
She's ushering them out because they have to get home. Yeah.
I think I will probably like actually escort a couple of them, like try to find like the biggest group and just walk in their direction while.
Yeah, there's a group. A lot of like the little dwarven kids, like they run back to the houses that are within the town itself. There's like the older kids. I think I don't remember if I can say what they are. There's a couple of older kids that are human, and they're walking the other way to like leave because they're farmer
Right.
children, so they're going back to their farm.
They're just doing
Yeah.
a quick go.
The half-drowned child is going the same direction, but he's not walking with them. He's kind of staying back, not really talking to them.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that those kids are old enough they can just do
Yeah.
their own thing, and then the little kids are just
The little kids are close to home
all in
already.
the group,
Yeah. Some of them are like running around in the street, but like
Yeah.
a couple of them, like say like one or two of them, won't go back towards the blacksmith because their moms
Yeah.
are there. So they're yeah.
I probably just like
They all are fine. Like they do this every day.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably just like walk with the kids who are almost home and just probably off the top of my head go ahead and like point out some effects because I know I can actually test them. I just don't know how much resources that take or
They're still mostly pestering you about magic and stuff whenever you're like
Right.
doing spells.
and then when does the magical ability start to show?
When they're older, they're not going to
Okay.
be unless they're like. I mean, even if they were like sorcerers or something, if they were sorcerers, they might be able to do it now. But you can guess they're probably
Right.
not because they're like, "Whoa, this is amazing! I've never seen anyone
Yeah.
make water." Like,
Yeah.
I have to use the well thing to do it. Like, I have to use the pump to make water. You can just make water. Yeah.
A turtle made it to the water.
Yeah. You see Arturo escorting it, children yelling about magic home. They're all walking to the bar. They're like, do another spell.
Unfortunately, I only have that one spell that really does anything without burning my resources, so
Yeah.
unfortunately I have to do that. Or guidance to help them. You know what? That's what I'm actually going to do. I'm going to use guidance to help them.
You're gonna become the counselor?
As
Yeah.
I'm just...
Guidance counselor.
Yeah, you pat one on their head, like
so
pat
I'm
them.
actually like just raising their self-esteem by actually like asking them about what they do and trying to do the Mr. Rogers thing.
Yeah, they just talk. They talk. I mean, they're young, but they're little kids. They're talking to you like little kids. They're like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'm probably gonna be a miner like my dad, like things like that.
You're already a miner.
Yeah. Yeah, it mostly just goes like that. There aren't like there's no kids that like stand out
Yeah.
a lot.
I'd probably just do like a general.
We're all very small because they're all dwarves. The main thing that stand out.
I really don't know that much about dwarven culture, do I?
Probably not.
So I think I'll actually let me actually talk with them about the dwarven culture, see how much they know, and just how proud they are.
They start saying things in Dwarven, and then
And I respond to them in Dwarvish as well.
but they're not saying anything like important. Like they're saying like dirty words that they know for the sake of doing dirty. It's like saying
That's the
dirty
most
words.
important part of any language.
And then they're like, they'll say like someone will say something and then like another one like the rest of them will like laugh because like they think it's funny just to
I'm
say.
just following along with their
Yeah.
conversation. It's just that whole general, they're creating their.
Yeah. Once you started talking in Dwarven, they'll switch over to that because they're like, this is we talk at home. I know how to say words in Dwarven. I know how to talk like a real person. So, yeah.
This is what Dad says all the time.
I'm assuming I'm just gonna like talk with them, escort them back really quickly, and then leave as soon as
Yeah.
they're with their parents. But
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and roll investigation to see what kind of patterns I can get about their households.
Yeah. Do that.
Let's do that. That is a 11.
I mean, they're not all like uniform or anything. Several of them like let themselves into their houses because they're like you assume their parents are somewhere else.
Right.
A couple of them like one or two of them like their mom comes out to greet them, and take them in because their mom's home.
Yeah.
You don't see any of their fathers. You also do know there are a lot of men, dwarven men that work the mines, so you assume that's probably, most of them have miners as their fathers. So, yeah.
So I think after I just drop them off, I'll just go over to the carpenters and just double check on the progress and all that for sure.
It
Probably apologize.
looks like a deer in the headlights when you asked that because he just finished like when he was like working, he'd been working on it. He's like,
You're good.
yeah, I'll get it to you, I promise. It just,
Yeah.
there was a lot I had to do.
I see he's
I'm
busy,
done. Yeah.
and I see he's tired.
Yeah.
So I'm like, would you mind if I just helped you out a little? And I cast Lesser Restoration on him.
He looks less tired. He's like, he kind of like blinks. And, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm about to I'm about to go to the shop and start working on some other things.
You're good. My things aren't of that high priority.
Yeah, I can get them done. I'm getting back to work on them now.
It's fine.
All right, and he goes. Yeah, as you're leaving, he goes back to working on whatever he's working on.
Yeah. Good for him. Maybe you can actually rest.
Yeah. He looks like he's actually slept through the night. Why did I get texted that twice? I have my work schedule texted to me, and it popped up twice, and I don't know why. I was like, what? Did it change? Did it change? Okay. So yeah, you two go to the bar. Yeah, you two go to the bar to get a
Alright.
drink. And-
Go to the Desert Rose?
Yeah.
Alright.
Unless you want to go to the other one, it's up to Curtis, I guess.
No.
He
Gotta love
can't
it.
be seen there with someone he knows.
We gotta love the Desert Rose. I mean,
Yeah, there's some people in there.
it's the atmosphere.
Yeah.
The random shooting.
It's
man.
like
Yes.
Hold the place together.
that's how you know Cedar's there. Yeah, you. What time of day would it be? I mean, I'd say it's like 4 or 5. So there's a few people in there. It's. I forgot the sister's name. Rosa.
You remember better.
Yeah, because I remember Rosa, and I
Oh
don't
yeah,
remember the other
you're
one.
just making note of every half of
I-
Okay.
And I flirted with one of them.
Yeah,
Only one?
Rosa's
Not yet.
leaving, and
I'm getting there.
yeah, Rosa's leaving, and Camilla's like taking over. It's about that. There it is. It's about that time of day where like they're switching.
About that time of day when Cedar walks in.
Yeah, Cedar walks in, starts shooting, and that's how you know it's a party. Yeah. The cook is
Shooting straight
You
up,
don't-
by the way, people.
yeah.
Celebratory gunshots.
the cook isn't out. He's probably back getting ready for people to show up. But yeah, both the twins are there when you walk in.
I would like to announce my entrance. Hello, everyone!
Oh, I figured it was gonna be good news, everyone. And I say that out loud.
Good news, everyone.
No, get on the program. It's not that this time.
It's always.
It's always something.
Well, I wanted to say that, but I realized I don't have any good news this time.
I literally did catch myself because I was starting to say it's always good news with you, and then I'm like, no, it's not.
It's not.
It's just a matter of perspective, my friend. And I would like to attempt to gather a crowd and perform, basically weave a story of how the brave town watch went out to meet this group of menacing dragonborns. And
There
like,
was-
but I don't want to like scare them too much. At the end, I do want to mention that they were friendly. No, we totally kicked her.
There's only a few people. There's only a few people here. Make a performance check.
As he is doing this, I go up to the bar and take a seat.
13.
And there are seats at the bar, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I go up to the bar, I take a seat, and I just lay my forehead on the counter, just like.
Wow.
Just put my hand
Yeah,
out for
the
a drink.
people.
Not impressed?
No, they are.
Oh.
I said wow because I was rolling.
They're so impressed they started
Yeah.
brawling.
I said wow because I rolled the same thing twice in a row and then really, really bad. So I was like, yeah, they're definitely impressed.
Okay. A drink for my friend, please.
This never gets old.
Yeah. Rosa.
My intent is basically to get him a free drink.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Camilla does. It's Camilla working, so yeah, she will give you a free drink.
I wasn't going for free. I was just like, I'm exhausted. Give me a drink.
Yeah, she gives you a drink.
And
She's-
as she gives her the drink, I would like to say you're welcome and continue to talk to Camilla.
Yeah, she's listening.
I'm still like this, but I just.
Yeah, she's listening to you.
So anyway, I was so.
Yeah, Arturo can join you there because he saw you go there. So eventually, while Curtis is entertaining like 6 people, maybe.
If I see him come in, I'd like to be like, and a round of applause for the bookish guy.
They look caught off guard, but like,
The bookish
yeah.
guy?
What did he do?
He was with us.
Oh. Yeah, Camilla.
And I like take a detour describing how he talked to the magical and mystical dragonborn that could actually talk.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you enter and you hear Curtis ask people to clap for you, and then starts talking about how you talked to a dragonborn that could actually talk. He's
I'm looking at him with a clear eyebrow, like, you know most dragonborns can talk, right?
Yes, but all of her friends couldn't, so it's impressive. Come on.
I look over at Arturo from my seat at the bar and
Give me something to knock me out. I don't want to deal with this guy.
No, I just asked for, like, the meal.
yeah.
Because I'm assuming you guys are eating here, right?
You.
I was gonna go home because I can't afford it.
can't afford it.
He just put all his money in the bank.
Technically I can, but I'd rather not because I'm really short on funds.
He just put all his money in the bank, all 5 gold.
Not literally all of it, okay? Not literally.
I mean, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get your meal.
Yeah, that's the disadvantage to the bank. Debit cards have not been invented
Yeah,
yet.
you have to actually go there to get your money out.
Yeah,
Which
that's,
means
that's
they
kind
know
of-
you have less. They know you need your 5 gold. You don't have money otherwise. So you have to make yourself look really poor, I guess.
See, I'm testing the waters. I want to make sure it's good before I give them my
I mean, you
business.
have to actually look at, did you actually read the paperwork?
No, he was just signing.
No one reads the paperwork. I probably accepted to give them my firstborn or something like that.
He doesn't care.
Yeah, I'm sure. Who's gonna enforce this? Probably Baron.
Yeah. Someone. I'm gonna stick leaf on you. Yeah, you get your meal. The cook brings up the plate, and he doesn't say anything. He gives you the meal. It's just like a stew and like a piece of bread or something, and he brings it to you, and then goes back to the kitchen. He doesn't.
I would have asked
Like to
anybody
be
else if they
out.
wanted anything before I ordered.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'll have milk.
She gives you milk.
Yay!
What's that sound?
It's part of the.
Okay, I just hadn't noticed it, I guess.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, yeah. It sounded like we're whining, so I was like, what is going on?
I know, yeah.
It's weird.
It's weird. I think it's supposed to be coins, but it does not sound
Yeah,
like
no,
coins.
okay, yeah. I had not noticed
It's
that.
like coins jingling in reverse, maybe. But
Yeah. So yeah, you eat your meal, Curtis gets his milk, you get your drink, but you don't have to pay for it. Curtis told
yay.
Camilla don't charge her, and she just apparently isn't going to charge you. You don't know if it's Curtis's doing or like something else, but she doesn't charge you for your drink.
I assume it's actually because Quota is actually performing and making enough money.
I
Quota
Quota
left
left,
town,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Quota
Quota
left
left
town.
town.
Right. That doesn't mean he hasn't made enough money to actually
Yeah.
pay.
I Rosa, right?
It's Camilla working.
Camilla.
She's also like jumped to Mallory's defense before. Like it was a while ago, but she'd also like
Oh,
done
that's
that.
right. That's right.
So she's probably like still just not gonna charge you.
So these are
walked in
refusals,
with
right?
half those.
Half those.
Yeah. She's the bartender. The twins are half elves. The cook is half orc, but he hasn't said anything to anybody. He doesn't talk really. He doesn't come out of the kitchen except to bring people their food
Yeah.
and then immediately walk
I mean,
back.
people might have rumors like, I heard this guy killed a person.
Yeah.
It's just not
Oh,
true.
he's like a little older looking, like a little haggard. So like people are like, he like basically like he left town because he shot a guy. Like something like crazy
Yeah.
that's definitely not true. He's just
Does
dumping
he have
town.
teardrop tattoos?
He's just like a little older, a little
Yeah,
rough looking.
I will ask Camilla how much the drink would be if she was charging me for it, and I'll tip appropriately anyway.
Yeah, it's like 2 silver. Like that.
2 silver,
Yeah.
so I'll
What's the percentage of it?
That'd be
Oh.
20. I mean, it'd be 20 copper. So, like,
Oh, whatever. Just
Whatever.
throw a silver.
And
All
this
right.
is why I don't pay.
My pencil's over there. I don't feel like grabbing it.
it's whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah.
List. Do I have one in here? No, I don't.
This.
It's alright.
Right.
I'll mark it off.
Yeah. So yeah. You do this.
It's 10 silver per gold, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, you're telling your story about these ferocious dragonborn that ended up being friendly, and yeah.
And while you're telling that story, I'm going to go ahead and like correct it because I'm assuming this is slander. So
Slander?
He's exaggerating how ferocious they are and like all
Yeah.
this stuff.
I'm making them look badass.
Yeah.
If anything, it's a compliment to them.
but I refuse to let the slander go on.
It's
so
like-
I actually
it's more like
call you
he's-
out on it.
What I imagine it is like he's he's knowingly like exaggerating some points. It's kind of like it's a little bit like lying, but it's like I know you forgot what happened already, but this is what actually happened. Like
Yeah, I think I say it underneath the breath so he doesn't hear it. But I like
Maybe,
make
like,
sure other people know so
a
that way
person-
there's no people trying to be like, I'm gonna be prejudiced against the lawmakers. That's a terrible idea.
like one of them hears you and like looks and is like, and looks at you and looks at Curtis, but he's still listening, but
And then
less
I'll go ahead and whisper in
enthusiastically.
the
What's your performance?
Let me see.
My performance mod?
Why was
Plus
that
2.
so high? The person kind of was like,
I think because you're having to compete with him who's performing and telling his story, you start off like grumpily interrupting, but then it kind of turns into competing stories and you're actually telling the truth.
yeah.
But because you've got enough charisma to make a contest.
I think at some point I'm like, oh screw it, I need to actually make sure that
All
I'm
right,
in
this
control.
is what.
So I'm gonna use my challenge divinity and give myself proficiency on a +4 bonus.
Okay.
So all right, both of you roll a performance.
Oh.
Wow.
Do I have inspiration? No.
Yeah, I always. He didn't roll. Well, he didn't roll much better, but his modifier was like. What was yours?
+4, so 7.
7. Yeah. People are kind of
Do I
like
have
even.
advantage because I'm like just straight up giving facts?
No, at this point, I think it's like people are starting to kind of lose interest because like he started correcting you, so it's like kind of losing the fun of it. People are like,
Facts are more dull.
Yeah.
He's the one who's like
and so yeah, people are like,
sensationalizing it for
Yeah.
Hollywood.
it's starting to be like,
Fake news.
it's like people are start to like kind of like be less enthusiastic
I
about
think
it.
at some point I go ahead and I like actively go into lecture mode and sort
Yeah,
of
people
use
start to move
thaumaturgy
People
to
start
go
to
ahead
move
and
away.
be like, good sir, how dare you commit slander, even though it's accidental. Please do not commit this, or else I will have to bring this up to the authorities. I do not wish to have
Yeah.
the anger of a whole bunch of trained clerics and paladins on the city.
At that point, everybody's like actively moving away because they're like, "Ooh, this is getting too serious." Like, to like go sit back at their tables. What do you?
In the
what
back
do you
I go,
do?
food killer!
Chris.
Well, I mean, if people aren't there anymore, I stop talking.
Okay.
Yeah, you're just like, you go back to you kick your
And then I
butt.
go to de-thaumaturgy.
If a Curtis falls down in the forest and there's no one around to hear him, does he still talk?
Yeah. But I'll be like, in the
It's
future.
internal monologue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think in the future, I say in the future, really, please ask before you start exaggerating like that and villainizing other people.
Who villainized them?
Okay, let me go into the list of descriptions you gave.
Okay.
See, what were the descriptions you gave again?
Like-
That they were wearing, what I exaggerated is like the quality of their weapons and like probably their numbers.
Sharpest blades you've
Yeah.
ever
It was-
seen.
Yeah.
It was very emphasizing how ferocious they are.
Okay, because I was thinking you were talking like, oh, their teeth were so large and
I don't
they
think I
had
mentioned
such
He
looking
said something about them not
muscles.
talking and then how. it was
Okay,
maybe
because I was thinking you were
affected.
talking about like the nose and stuff, so I was thinking more like Holocaust. I'm like,
Oh,
no, just no.
I don't know where that came from, but no, he was really heavily exaggerating basically how ferocious and like they would be and how much they would be. And
Okay.
what I'm imagining is there was that he was saying all this, and you were like, you were sitting
when
here
in that
trying to.
Holocaust.
Okay, because I thought he was talking like exaggerating the features, trying to.
No,
minimize.
exaggerating the like their what they
Okay,
were doing.
that was a straight up not hearing right, so honestly.
No, I think it still works in the sense that like he's exaggerating like their battle prowess and like they're so ferocious, like they can take care of anything,
No, I don't.
and you're like,
I do not question
they're
that. Look proud.
well, no, it's you're like no, they aren't that ferocious because like he's. What I was assuming was you were assuming he was trying to convince everybody and that like it was so dangerous, it was like crazy, but they're not and you're like no, everybody calm down, they're not gonna attack us.
Okay,
Like that's
yeah.
what I'm
Okay.
saying it would be. It's like that's how I'm gonna interpret
He
that.
builds up this ginormous, like,
But
you
and
know,
then he
really
kinda-
dramatic, scary enemy, but they were friendly, so no
Yeah.
worries.
They're like, oh, tell us about their swords again. You're like, no, they weren't actually that like battle crazy, like prowess, like ready to attack us. Like they weren't going to attack us. And he's like, they didn't even make any indication they were going to. And then you're like, oh.
Yandel 231. Hi, who is the gunslinger? The gunslinger is Cedar. He is absent tonight,
So he's kind of cardboarded, and we're saying that he's the one doing the celebratory gunshots in the background track that you can hear. So, yeah, sorry he's not here tonight. He usually sits just off screen anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you.
Okay, my bad,
Have your
because I thought it
discussion.
was like straight
No,
up
he's not like.
slander, because I was thinking it was way worse than this, and I was like, party foul?
It would probably interpret it as like. Arturo probably would have interpreted slander in the sense of he's not telling them facts. He's making the lawmasters people sound like these ferocious people that attack all the time, but when it's really like as long as you're law abiding, you're fine. Like, so.
Okay.
That's what
Okay.
I thought you were going with anyway.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I thought I heard something about big burly, and I was getting this image in my head for some
No.
reason. My bad.
So yeah, you.
Everybody,
Yeah.
we are not.
Well, Camilla's still sitting there like she was going to listen to you, but at this point it's probably out of like politeness. Like
Yeah.
you're aware of this.
I go ahead and I apologize again for an outburst. Just
Yeah.
go back to eating now.
And Camilla, was it true? Are they actually out there?
Well, Professor, would you like to give us another lecture?
Yes, they are.
That's something. Yeah, no, she doesn't.
Roll to cause mass panic.
No, I was trying to see if she would know anything about the Lawmaster. She does not. I did not have a modifier in mind. Doesn't matter what it is. She does not know.
So I think I go ahead and
She's
I
like, wow.
I
And
go
she
ahead
goes back to her work.
and as like a bartender, she's the one who get the news out anyway. So I'll go ahead and like give her some quick information so she knows what she's talking about later. If she needs it.
Yeah.
So I go ahead and tell
Yeah.
her that yeah. So they worship a god whose tenets are basically enforce the law wherever you're at.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe either they're taking a vow of silence or they're using the chains as the sort of peace bond for their brother. And then I go and do think about it. And I probably don't actually bring up that they're pretty much just an adventuring force, because that would probably bring in way too many people.
Yeah, she's politely listening.
Yeah.
Like, it's more out of politeness than like, because she's just kind of like, wow, that's kind of cool. And then like, she was gonna move on from it. Like,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, not.
But
not
like,
gonna
I'm
tell
just giving her a
everything.
couple things so that way if people keep asking later, she'll have something to say. She's not just a deer in the headlights.
I mean, I don't know if you remember, but like Arturo would remember. She comes off as really like flighty, like she's just kind of like not cool. Like if she didn't know what she was talking about, she's like, huh, I don't know. Like no one would question it because that's
Okay.
just kind of how she acts. Like
Right, I forgot.
it's not true. It's not real. You know it's not real. You've seen her like indicate that it's not. But like if you said that, like no one would question it or push her.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll just leave it go then, because I was
Yeah.
I'm thinking she was the day one provider.
No, the day one had left without really saying anything.
Oh well.
Because it was time to go. She was out there. Yeah. So yeah. Do you have anything else you're going to do, or just
Or are you just awkwardly watching me eat now?
keep drinking your milk and free drink,
By free-
whatever
yeah.
it is? It's probably whatever you normally get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask Camilla if I could visit the kitchen. For some reason, I really want to say chicken. And talk to the cook.
Yeah, she kind of like
Spurs. That's what that sound is. They're supposed to be spurs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she like kind of like that actually like makes her pause. She thinks like, I mean, you have. I can't let you back there. I'm just not.
Does he speak common?
Yeah.
course he speaks common. He doesn't speak common. You're
I
talking-
can let him know
People
if
don't
you want to
speak
talk
common?
to him.
Overhaul?
Yeah, that's true.
Is it?
Well,
We never tried diplomacy with them.
Yeah, you just went in with your sword
Yeah.
down, like you never know.
What if we're the real villains here?
Yeah. What if the Umber Hulk really just came to hear the music?
Yeah. No, the Umber Hulk, the poor Umber Hulk, thought he was getting laid. Like, he heard the mating calls.
Yeah,
And he just came like, hey, what's up? And then he got attacked.
It's
like,
a trap.
yeah. Can you imagine that how your day goes?
No, I thought really bad joke.
So, someone
I
decides
was
to
gonna
play
say,
a
I was gonna
weird...
say, yeah, he would have sympathy for that, 'cause, like, you could probably get Curtis the same way. But, yeah. But yeah, you know,
That's true.
Curtis would have sympathy for it because he understands.
Yeah,
Good.
you know.
Probably it happens to the best of us, I guess.
Someone has...
By that I
someone
mean
does a-
Curtis.
Yeah. Someone does a,
Uh,
backwards kind of D&D campaign where you play as monsters or whatever, and they roll an Umber Hulk, and that's what happens to them.
yeah. Yeah, so you can, yeah, she'll show you back to the,
You hear a mating call. Oh, I'm gonna check it out. It's a party of adventurers. You get your ass kicked.
yeah, gotta avoid the perils of being, yeah. You could theoretically do that because you can roll like to be a kobold or a goblin or a
Yeah.
bugbear or something.
Yeah, it's actually really easy to do with 3rd
Yeah.
edition,
Oh, I'm
but
sure.
yeah.
I'm sure.
but
One shot idea. So
Yeah.
so yeah.
but that means
she-
having to learn 3rd edition.
She goes back, she takes you back to the kitchen, and she opens the door and says, he wants to talk, Curtis wants to talk to you, and like lets you in. And the cook is just there. Yeah, and he looks at you.
This is a question I always ask, and I know the answer is probably no, but I just want to be thorough. There's no inherent kind of animosity between orcs and elves, is there?
No,
Okay.
yeah, no, I mean, it would probably depend on the group, but at most, no.
Okay.
That's a world building question.
Like you don't know every single group, and like a group of orcs that only interact
But there's
with
no
orcs
religious thing that's
No.
like the king of the elves.
No big
No.
overarching thing.
Yeah, it's especially whenever within particularly human cities, they actually tend to like the communities of those. They tend to like interact. Like they don't overlap and like they're not like one, but they interact more frequently with each other because they got the whole like we're not the humans. We're half human, but the humans won't don't have count as one of us. So that sort of similarity.
I go in there and shake his hand.
He,
And get shot.
yeah, he's shot apparently.
Good news, everyone! I have a new scar.
He offers his hand and offers you his hand and
Are all his fingers there?
The end of his pinky is missing. Rough
You
guy.
can't trust the cook who isn't missing a finger.
Rough looking guy. Yeah. It's like how I got that. My pinky
It's
is
like the
in the back.
equivalent of the Waffle House thing where it's like if they're not smoking crack, love.
They're not like fighting each other. They know it's not a good one. Not yelling at each other over everything.
If they haven't had a smoke break, you don't.
Yeah, he shakes your hand.
Okay.
What?
I assume he has like a stew or something in the pot.
Yeah, it's the one that he was serving.
Okay. Like, that smells great, by the way.
Thank you.
And I kind of gesture for him to like, you can keep working while we talk. I don't want to hold you up too much. Just wanted to say that I've been to this inn of yours quite a few times and happened to enjoy your meals. And I don't believe we've officially met before. I've noticed you listening to a couple of my stories, though.
Yeah.
So, you have me at a disadvantage. You know my name, yet I don't know yours.
Yeah, it's something like
Well,
this.
if Curtis has his way, everyone in the world will have him at a
Yeah.
disadvantage because they'll all know his name.
That is true.
That's not giving me any names away, like. It gave me the same name multiple times. So
Okay.
okay. That one.
Fine.
So,
You can just fix it later.
yeah, and he tells you a name. And he doesn't really say much. He continues to do what he's doing.
Well, now that we've met, I guess I'll be going. By the way, did you happen to know anything about the group of nomads who visit this town every once in a while?
He shakes his head.
Hmm.
Why? Why do you know?
Well, I've heard there's a lot. They're mostly orcs and outlaws, and I've been thinking maybe since we're the new town watch, maybe we could, bring them a little gift to introduce ourselves. And I was wondering if you had any ideas.
He
Nothing major, just a normal greeting.
just shrugs. I'm not one of those orcs. I wouldn't know.
How much would it cost for you to make a hearty meal? Probably some kind of meat dish.
I guess it depends on what kind.
He's like, what you asking for? Like,
Basically a stereotypical chunk of meat on the bone that has been roasted.
He like
Or like smoked, so it's a bit preserved too.
kind of just shrugs. I don't have a smoker here. There's probably a farmer that has one. Probably just get that from them. I don't know for sure.
Thank you for your help, and once again, your food is delicious. And attempt to leave.
Yeah, you can go. Yeah, you can just leave. He doesn't say anything else.
I don't die before leaving.
No, you don't like kill him or he doesn't like take you out with a pan or something.
Okay.
He just like, goes. He just does stuff.
he'd be like,
He just doesn't talk. Like
It's
another
in
one
a
of
day.
those
How am I supposed to smoke something in a day?
Yeah, definitely like.
Does he have a charisma of like 3? Because you were playing him like totally deadpan.
Yeah, he just doesn't. He's just very probably pretty low charisma. He does not. Yeah, doesn't feel the need to talk to everybody. He works in the back for a reason.
So since I've seen him up close, does he have any particular features other than just being old?
Not really.
Okay.
He's probably got like a few scars on him that indicate he might have been an adventurer at one point because
Okay.
when he was young, probably would have been that probably would have been the time when they were around.
3 years ago, I was an adventurer.
Yeah.
But then I grew old.
Yeah.
Is
Such the way of life.
He's got a little bit of white hair.
Used to be an adventurer like you, and then he took an arrow.
I was just about to ask, does he limp when he walks?
Actually, one of the, again with the new WoW expansion, I saw a character or NPC that you clicked on, and they said, "I used to be an adventurer like you, and I got better."
Ooh.
I don't remember who that was, but
Yeah. Yeah, he just looks like a probably a retired adventurer that is now working in the back of a tavern.
Probably gets better health benefits than adventurers.
Yeah. Yeah, his tusks look fine.
See, there we go.
there you go.
For the rest of tonight, I would like to go home and make sure that Koda didn't leave behind any musical instruments.
I don't think he would.
Okay.
I feel like he would take them with him.
Now he did leave behind the banjo, though.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yes.
Would I find it in his room?
You would find that in my room.
Ah, okay.
Mallory has the banjo. Like, the banjo is here.
I don't think I would. I think I would wait for you to come home.
Is
Yeah.
Curtis creepy enough to go through Mallory's
Yeah.
room?
Not quite.
I feel
Close,
like,
but not
I mean,
quite.
I feel like it wouldn't actually be that creepy because Mallory doesn't have a lot of stuff. So you just open the door and see the banjo like sitting there.
Yeah, it really is pretty much
It's like-
bed, dresser, banjo leaning against the bed.
Like it's not like, unless he decides to go in and go through the drawers, like it's probably not anything weird.
Yeah.
Probably not. I can't rule anything out.
I think I'm gonna ask for permission before like
Yeah.
getting it. Yeah.
Yeah. I assume Cedar has just been working on his stuff. Working in the basement.
Or is that what he wants us to think?
Yeah, he's been down in the basement doing whatever Cedar does down
See,
there.
like he has all his dwarf buddies down there. They're just partying.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
You hear like a quiet like thumping of
Yeah.
bass.
We just
Somehow.
we just assume that's an anvil, but it's actually the bass.
Yeah. He invited all the miners and all the blacksmiths over and it's how to party.
One day we go down into the basement and we're looking in Cedar's room and we slide the bookshelf out of the way and there's like this whole big dwarven facility down there, just ginormous sprawling cavern.
Fun fact, that's how Undermountain started.
Yeah. Yeah. After a little while, I assume Mallory comes back.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm still eating my lunch, and I'll be looking over my notes. People, I
Yeah.
don't care too much either way.
I know people that like go to bars and then like just sit in the corner and read, so it's not that weird. People may try to talk to you, but you'd probably just like brush them off.
No, I'd be receptive-ish.
It's not like long conversations like, hey, what are you up to? Okay, cool, like, but yeah.
I'd probably. Nah, it's probably just notes, and I'll just be like, just reading through observations, work stuff.
Yeah, just someone making small talk because you're sitting in the corner of the bar like by yourselves. You're like,
Yeah.
make sure he's okay. Like, okay, he's fine.
Every
Yeah.
now and then I'm actually writing down notes and then be like, observe this, this, and this. Check to see if these people actually have parents.
Yeah. Yeah, you make it home
Yeah.
to Curtis doing whatever he's doing it does at home.
Okay. I would like to take a chair, place it directly in front of the door, and just sit there. And the first thing Mallory sees when she opens the door is Curtis waiting for her.
Yeah.
I walk in and I see this and oh hi Curtis and I just walk right past because I basically
Go around.
expect that by now.
It's lost its impact. So I've noticed that you have a certain musical instrument in your room.
Yeah?
Would you mind if I borrow it for a while?
Hell, I'm borrowing it. Oh wait, no, I guess it is mine now. Well, you know, just I was actually gonna play tonight.
Well,
Oh, well.
drop it by tomorrow then.
You know, just don't break it, etc. You know.
I promise to do my best.
It's actually surprisingly expensive
Oh god.
because musical instruments are actually
Yeah.
overpriced in here.
They're
Quota
artisanal.
was saying they were expensive, so.
I'm heading upstairs and I'm like at the entrance to my room. I don't know if you have followed me up there. Or
I
if
would.
it- Okay. I kind of stop at the door and I turn to you. I go, "Do you play it?"
Not yet.
Not yet.
Same with me a while ago. So you know.
What's the banjo closest to?
Guitar, I guess.
Yes.
Flute?
I feel like he had told you how much it was worth at some point.
Man, if it's a lute, it's 35 gold pieces.
He told you, I feel like.
So that'd probably be the most expensive thing you got.
Yeah.
Besides your armor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you can take the banjo and attempt to play the banjo.
I will show him how to give him
Like hold it and
advantage or whatever.
Hold it upside down.
Yeah.
Like this? No. We get an 80s montage of me trying to.
I'll give them a bit of a crash course or whatever.
Do
Yeah.
we do that?
From my whole, 2 weeks of experience with
Yeah.
it.
I mean, you got the basics. You know how to hold it. You did pretty good, actually. Enjoyable.
Do we get a ghost pottery scene where like it's behind me and like?
You put your hand on
Yeah.
here, and if you take this the wrong way, I swear to God. Like, yeah. Yeah. So, I guess roll your dexterity. No proficiency because you're not proficient in
I
this.
think I had a +4.
Yeah, I would assume you tested.
Ooh.
No, never mind. Doesn't matter. You did great.
We've been.
You
This
pick it
just
up.
needs to be like a musical campaign.
Yeah.
I mean, we've
Do I
been
just
rolling
gain the
great.
proficiency now?
We've been rolling great every time it comes to music.
You're not proficient. You're not fully proficient, but you as soon as you pick it up, are you proficient in any instruments?
You have a great teacher.
Oh, well,
That's
yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I feel like that's what happened
I'm
with you
rubbing
too.
up on
You
you.
had a natural 20 the first time you played the banjo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if it's a magical banjo that anybody can play perfectly?
Yeah. You pick it up and it's not. You're expecting
Yeah,
to hear bad banjo music all night, but you did not. It's actually.
I mean, is there such a thing as
It's
good
the
banjo?
boy? What do you mean it's the boy, Boat? What, the boy playing it?
It's the boy.
What?
It's Curtis' time, I guess.
Oh, is it? Oh, did you go AFK? I guess you just mean you're back. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. You play actually pretty good considering you're not playing anything crazy intricate.
I'm just copying exactly whatever Mallory is doing.
Yeah.
There you go.
And it sounds pretty good. Yeah. Not the best banjo in the world, but not bad considering you just picked it up for the first time ever.
Good enough for me.
Nice.
All right.
We're bonding.
Whenever he
I
is
mean-
done playing for the night, I do take the banjo back in my room.
All right. Do you have anything else to do for the night? That's probably good. It's like 5:57, so
Yeah.
yeah. You go to rest up so you can meet with the nomads the next day.
The nomads, all right.
Yep.
We might have Curtis next.
And
See.
Cedar might join you once he's done with his dwarf party.
Yeah, his dwarf party.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
maybe, just maybe, we might be able to have a quota.
Maybe. Quota might come back. You might run it in.
So,
Yeah.
hope so. Cool. Well, thank you all for being here. Thanks so much. Appreciate the new followers. I didn't even get the notification on Yandel. Yandel231, thanks for the follow. Also